Hello everyone, how are you? Welcome to a new video. Before we begin today's chapter, I invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, it would help me a lot if you left a comment with your opinion, as that motivates me to keep bringing you more stories. Now then, get comfortable and I'll leave you with the fanfic. The Guardian. Chapter 1. Enter Uzumaki Naruto's Hell. In the village of Kanehagakure no Sato, or otherwise known as the Hidden Leaf Village, the villagers were celebrating the defeat of the bijou called Kyubi. There was one person, however, who was not enjoying the celebrations. This was the demon boy, or brat as the villagers would call him, but his true name was Uzumaki Naruto. He was a boy with blonde hair and blue eyes, just like his father, but his personality is just like his mother. He is 6 years old. His parents were the Yondaime Hokage Namikaze Minato, and was known during the third great shinobi was as Konoha no Kuroi Senko, while his mother was the best Kenjutsu user in Konoha and the last surviving Uzumaki Kushina. Sadly, though, his parents died on the day he was born due to a fox and an Uchiha claiming to be Madara. He is now an orphan that is hated by Konoha because of a secret that he doesn't know about yet. He was a container of the Kyubi no Yuko. The fox was sealed into him after she had her yin chakra ripped out of her by Minato, and then he proceeded to seal her young into baby Naruto. The seal that held her was so strong that she couldn't contact him yet until the day he first calls on her chakra, which brings me to today. Normally a child is all giddy and excited that it is their birthday and they will receive gifts, but all young Naruto feels is fear and pain. Why? The villagers has decided to do their annual fox hunt, where a mob will chase Naruto around Konoha until they catch him, or until the Sandaime Hokage steps and stop them. Currently, the villagers are chasing Naruto around, and he tries to stay in front, but shinobi are also in the mob, so they catch up pretty easily. In hopes of losing his pursuers, he turns down an alleyway, but he realizes too late that it is a dead end. When he turns to run out again, the mob was already there. Finally, the demon has stopped. "I thought we were going to lose him," said one of the villagers. "Please, I haven't done anything to you. What do you want?" Naruto asked the crowd. This has the opposite effect. The people start to scowl at him and get really pissed off. "What did you do? You killed our family members and friends, and we want our revenge. We can't let you just walk around here all proud while our loved ones are dead. Today we finish what the Yondaime started, and we avenge our families." This was followed by several war cries and objects being thrown at poor Naruto. The shinobi in the group start to throw shuriken at him and also start to do hand signs for jutsu. Naruto starts to get cuts and screams at the pain. The mob were pleased at the screams of the child and stopped to torture him, but what they see anger them even more. The wounds were starting to heal at an astonishing rate that puts Iru Shinobi to shame. As the cuts are made, they instantly seal up again with no sign of a scar on his tan skin. While in his mindscape, Kyubi was so angry. She could not believe what they were doing to this boy. What makes her angrier was the fact that they thought that he was her reincarnation. How far will these bastards go to harm the kid? They still call me a demon. I've never harmed a child in my whole life. Kyubi kept her rant going until she felt something off. She decided to look, and what she saw made her go into a frenzy. Outside of his mindscape, the shinobi finished their hand signs and called out Kitan, Gakakyu no Jutsu. They all blew a fireball at the down child, which hit him. His skin started to burn, and his screams were so high-pitched that they thought he was a girl. His skin turned a burned black color, and the shinobi were very pleased. After some time, he couldn't even scream anymore, and he just laid there. He was in so much pain that he couldn't even twitch before he felt immense pain. Then the leader of the shinobi mob stepped forward, attempting to end Naruto's pitiful existence. But he and all the villagers were so shocked when they felt the killing intent so strong that they almost passed out just from the amount. But what scared the shinobi most was the fact that there was red chakra coming out of Naruto. Mindscape. Kyubi was so happy when she felt a presence in his mindscape that instead of leading him to her, she just forced him there instantly. All Naruto saw was a dark sewer with a gate that looked like a jail cell, but everything inside was pitch black. What shocked him, though, was how high the bars went and the height of the ceiling. He instantly knew he wasn't alone when he sensed a dark but calming presence. "So Naruto, we finally meet, huh?" An evil but slightly feminine voice rang throughout the mindscape. Wow, where did that came from? Who's there? Was Naruto's attempt at a brave response. Remain calm, Kit. I won't hurt you. As to where I am, well, look right in front of you. Just then Naruto sees two massive red eyes open with a slitted pupil in all of them. Naruto, who is now deadly scared, started to back away. Don't worry, Naruto. I just want to talk. Kyuubi tried to reassure him, although his reaction was very funny to her. Who are you, and where am I? You are in your mindscape, Kit, and I. The figure started to get clear, and Naruto saw a giant fox with 9 tails and crimson red fur standing in the cage. Am known as the Kyuubi no Yuko. Naruto was now confused because he heard the stories of how the Yondaime killed the Bijou and died with it. Before you ask, no, the Yondaime didn't kill me. No human can kill a Bijou since we would just reform after a few years of our death because we are chakra beings. The only way your Hokage had any chance of willing against me is to seal me inside of a living baby. You're my third container. This shocked Naruto dearly because he thought he was dead. So what does that mean that the others were right? Asked Naruto sadly. About what? Kyuubi asked, genuinely confused. That I'm a demon fox? Don't you dare believe a word those bastards say to you. Naruto was so shocked at the Bijou's outburst that he fell backwards into the water on the floor. Kyuubi calmed herself down and talked in a quieter voice. Sorry, Kit. I didn't mean to scare you like that. But the thing those people say about you makes me think who the real demons are on this planet. Just because I'm sealed into you does not mean that you are me and I am you. Just us talking shows that we are separate. You're known as a Jinchuriki, a power of human sacrifice. You're used to keep me and my brothers and sisters locked up and away from others, so we don't do harm. My power and yours are separate, but you can use both yours and mine. Kyuubi was about to continue when she sensed the people outside readying their attacks again and sighed. We could talk later, but right now, we need to defend ourselves. I'll take over your body and hold them off until your Hokage gets to us. Alleyway. The villagers were about to attack the charred blonde when he got up and looked them in the eye. They froze at the sight. Naruto's eyes turned to a dark red with a slit pupil, and the red chakra started to circle him. All of his burns started to heal and disappeared as if they were never there. The chakra also turned into a cloak with 2 tails swishing around him in an angry way. The power that the child was releasing was unimaginable. Not even the Hokage has this amount of power in his chakra, yet here was a child of just 6 years old that was overpowering them. What happened next shocked everyone present. The child screamed in pain and grabbed his head. There was a sharp burning pain in both of his eyes, and the pain was just as strong as when he got burned. What is this? What's going on? H. The cubified Naruto spoke in a demonic voice. What everyone saw was a dead shock. His left eye starts to turn a pale lavender color, and his right eye turned a violet color that spread over his whole eye with no pupil and formed a ripple pattern with black rings and 3 tomios over the first 2 rings. The tomios in his right eye started to fuse as well and turned into a pattern that looked like a spider web that goes to the middle that held a circled black pupil. The crowd was so shocked that the demon just awakened not 1, but 3 bloodlines. The shinobi started to wave more hand signs for a high-powered Katon jutsu. This is what you get for taking my clan's dujitsu, you bastard, was the shout of an angered Uchiha for seeing his dujitsu in the demon. The shinobi completed the signs and shouted, Katon, Ryuka no Jutsu. When Naruto saw the massive wave of fire his right eye starts to bleed heavily and the eye strained, but what happened next surprised everyone, even Kyuubi. A massive, semi-transparent black dome appeared around the child's body before the flames reached him. A huge explosion occurred that blinded everyone except the few Uchiha that had their Sharingan active. When the flames died down, all the shinobi were wide-eyed by what they saw. Naruto was just standing there in the middle of the disaster zone with the shield still on. He looked like he wasn't even responding to the attack anymore. His eyes had a faraway look before the pupils took on a slitted appearance. I don't know how the kid is doing this, but at least now I can use this to help. Kyuubi spoke out to the crowd before his eyes strained again. A black aura appeared around him, and a white skeletal body started to appear. It took a form of an upper body with arms, and a demon-like head with yellow eyes appeared. The Uchiha were shit scared by the sight of their banished leader's ultimate ninjutsu. They started to run, but the arm of Susanoo stops them from getting any further by blocking the exit off. Meanwhile, the Sandaime Hokage was still having his most difficult battle ever. The enemy was every Kage's enemy. Paperwork. He had a whole pile to do before the end of the day, but he had enough and was ready to cast his Karyu Enden on the pile. When he felt the power that he will never forget, he paled. He will never forget the power of the Kyuubi, the power that took away his successor from this world. He tried to use his crystal ball to see, but all he saw was red. He called for his most obedient Anbu that didn't think of Naruto as Kyuubi. He called Inu, Tora, Nico, and Karasu. These people were known as Hatake Kakashi, Tenzo, Yuzuki Yugao, and Uchiha Itachi. Warrior Order Hokage-sama, was Inu's question. Don't tell me you don't feel that pulse of chakra. It was at that moment that Tenzo sensed Kyuubi's Yuki in the air and exclaimed, Sir, the Kyuubi is trying to break out of his Jinchuriki. That's why I need you to go to the source of that pulse and find out what's going on now. Hi Hokage-sama. With that, the 4 Enbu disappeared in a plume of smoke. I hope that Naruto is still in there, but what's causing this amount of the Biju's power out of him? The Sandaime was really confused, but not even a minute after the Anbu left, Nico returned and looked scared. So you have to see this, Nico told her leader. After that, he went with her, and what he saw made him turn pale. Ali. The cubified Naruto was still killing the mob off when it suddenly appeared out of the ground and wrapped around him, which caused the Yuki to resend back to the seal. The 4 Anbu and the Hokage jumped in front of him and guarded him. There was only one thing that the mob feared more than Kyuubi, and that was a pissed of Sarutobi Hiruzen. The killing intent that he was giving off made them piss their pants at its strength. What the hell is going on here? Sarutobi asks. One arrogant Uchiha replied, We are finishing what the Yondaime started. You fools, he isn't the Kyuubi. He is Uzumaki Naruto. They're their own person. The Sandaime is being controlled by the demon. Kill him, the hidden root member spoke. Yambiyu kill all shinobi and take all civilians to Ibiki. He always likes having practice targets for Anko to use. The Yambiyu didn't waste any time and started attacking them. Hiruzen turns to Naruto to see if he is okay now. He turns just in time to see Naruto's Jujutsu deactivate, and his eyes return to their celestial blue eyes. He was so shocked when he saw the Jujutsus that he thought he was crazy, but the residual chakra was proof of the power. Naruto was starting to feel dizzy and fell forward his face only to be caught by his G-San. Hey Naruto, are you okay? Sandaime asked, truly worried for the boy. Yeah, just give me a sec. Naruto was panting heavily and looked exhausted, but forced himself to remain conscious. Okay, let's go to my office so we can talk. Saying nothing more, he shoeshined both of them to the Hokage Tower. Hokage Tower. The Sandaime and Naruto appeared in the Hokage's office, where Naruto went to the sofa in the corner while he went to his desk. He spoke into the intercom on his desk. I would like no distractions for the next few hours. Please, Yumi, said the old man to his secretary. Understood, Hokage-sama, was her reply to the old leader. He went to Naruto and sat right next to him. He didn't have time to react to Naruto's surprise hug, who was crying his heart out now that he had time to think about his incident. Ji-san, why do the villagers hate me so much? Just because Kyuubi is in me, it doesn't mean I am her. Why can't they see that I'm not a demon? Naruto asked him, hoping that he knew the answer to his miserable life. To say that Sarutobi was surprised was to say that Kakashi liked Ika only a little. His eyes were as wide as saucers, and his mind was moving a mile a minute. How did he know about Kyuubi? Did he meet it? And what did he mean about she was a few of the man's thoughts. He needed to know how the boy knew about it. Naruto, how do you know about Kyuubi? His voice and face was dead serious. Naruto, sensing the seriousness of the conversation, moved away from Sarutobi and forced himself to stop crying. I met her while the people here hurting me. She seems nice and friendly. He responded. Thanks for the compliment, kid, was Kyuubi's surprised input. Where did that come from? Naruto shouted out loud, which scared the old man. Dear Kami Naruto, you nearly scare me to death. I'm going to get a heart attack from your shouting. What's wrong? The old man spoke to him. Don't talk out loud, kid. Just think what you want to say to me, and I'll hear it, came the voice. Okay, then who are you? Naruto tried to listen to the voice. Don't tell me you forgot about me already, replied the voice in a mock-hurt tone. Then it snapped to Naruto who the voice was. Kyubi, it's you. How are you talking to me? He spoke to his bijou. Now that you use some of my power, I can communicate with you mentally, and we can share senses, so I can help you if you need it. Okay, that explains it. Thanks for telling me, Q-san. Kyubi was shocked about this. No one has ever called her anything other than Kyubi. They were always too afraid of her, but here comes this 6-year-old boy who was her third container that isn't afraid of her at all. What's going on? Why is it like this? This child is the only one to talk to me like we are the same. He really may be the one Otu-san spoke of on his last day. The bijou tried to make sense of it. Naruto! What? He got a real fright when the Sandame shouted like that. Finally, I tried to call you. What are you thinking about? Should I tell him, Q-san? He spoke to his tenant. Why not? You should trust him, Naruto. We're going to need his help for what I have planned, was her response. Okay, thanks. I was talking to QBG-san. This made the old man scarred about the implications. Naruto, lift your shirt up, please. The child lifted it up, and the Sandame saw it. The seal that holds the Kyubi. The seal was the hack Fuin. It was the best seal that can be used to contain a bijou. It appeared to be intact to the Sandame, but he was no Fuin jutsu expert, so he mentally noted that he needed to find Jiraiya for a check. How do you feel, my boy? The Sandame really cared for the child. He is the Yandame's child, so he should look after him. I feel fine, G-san. At least now I know why I'm hated in the village. Don't let the village tell you that you are a demon. You and Kyubi are. He didn't get to finish his sentence. Separate. I know G-san Q-san has already told me about this. And do you believe him? G-san Q-san is a girl, and yes, I do believe her. He answered with a smile. Not one of the fake and forced ones, but a true and honest one that he only gave to his friends. Sarutobi was so relieved that the child was still himself. He thought that knowing the truth will cause him to hate the village, but it looks like he worried for nothing. Good, but can you really trust her? He asked the child. Of course, G-san. She helped me where everyone else didn't bother to even look at me. She really is a good fox. Kyubi was a little flattered at his words and trust in her, and so she vowed to never break that trust ever. Don't worry, kid. I'll help you in any way I can to keep your trust, was her silent thoughts. Okay, if you trust her, then I'll believe in you and place my trust in her as well. Okay, Naruto, the old man said to the child. Thanks, G-san. And Naruto, I need to talk to him. Can I take control of you, please? Kyubi spoke to him. Sure, Q-san, hang on. Hey, G-san, Q-san wants to talk to you, okay. Now the Sandame was worried. Why does she want to talk to me? He asked. I'm not sure, G-san. After that, his eyes turned a red color with a slit pupil and elongated canines. Hello, Sandame Dano. We need to talk. It wasn't the soft voice of child Naruto. It was the deep voice of a demon with a feminine sound in it. About Kyubi-sama, was the genius reply of the Sandame. Now that the kid accessed my chakra, he has to start training to handle it and in the other shinobi arts, so he can get the lead he needs in life to protect him from Akatsuki. The Sandame was surprised for the countless time today, and he expected to be shocked again a few more times during this conversation. You want to train Naruto in using your power? Why are you so keen in helping him? He asked the demon. 2 reasons. First, if he dies, then so do I. Even though it'll just reform after 3 years, I still don't want to go through that pain at all. Secondly, he is the only one who wants to help me and also cares about my well-being. He doesn't just think of me as a demon, but as another entity. That is all we bijous want, to live in peace with other species like the Rakuto, Sennin intended. Now I want your help in training him. My help? How? Asked the Hokage. I want you to supply us with a training ground, and people who you know won't think of the kid as me to train him in your shinobi arts, and that Mokutan user as well, so the kid can train my chakra. I also want the supplies for him and new clothes. I won't allow my container to wear this orange monstrosity, Kyubi said very loud in a demon voice to make a point. Hey, I like my orange clothes, Naruto. said in his mindscape. You can have some orange in your clothes, but not completely orange, okay? It would make it impossible to sneak around like you need to, was the fox's reply. All right, Kyubi-sama, I'll send you the ANBU that helped him today to train him. Then something clicked in the old man's mind. I have to ask Kyubi-sama, does Naruto have a bloodline? I guess you saw it right. Yes, he has 4 of them. This caused the Hokage's jaw to drop on the floor and stay there with wide eyes. How does he have more than one bloodline? I honestly don't know, nor do I know how he got them a mix at that moment, though. He has the Uzumaki bloodline, obviously, but also has the Hyuga's Byakugan and Uchiha Sharingan, and I don't know how. He has the Rinnegan. Again, the aged leader's mouth was on the floor. He couldn't believe that this child has the legendary Jujutsu of the Rakuto Sennin. Does that mean that he is the prophesied child that Minato spoke of? He asked the Bijou. I don't know, but he will be if I have anything to say about it. He has a pure heart and soul that Otu-san spoke of, and he wants to help the world, so I'm going to help where I can. Besides, it will be fun after he trains a bit. Here the Bijou Naruto smirked, and that made the Sandame nervous. So can you do it, Sandame Dano? Can you give us what we need? Kyubi asked the Kage. I can try, but I can't take any formal part in his training, or that will show favoritism. Could I also need some jutsus from you when we train, but right now I need the Kagabunshin no Jutsu and its other variants. Don't worry, he can take it. He has more chakra than you do, she added when she saw him about to protest to it. How can he have more chakra than me? He didn't believe it. That comes from his Uzumaki side, which gives him massive reserves that rivals legends and Kages. Now, normally that comes with terrible control, but because of the Rinnegan, he will have perfect control of his chakra, which is where the clones come in. They will help him to focus on multiple things at a time. The third was hitting his head on the table when he heard that. For a person with monstrous reserves, this is the best training method due to the ability to retain memories after the clones disperse. Wow, that is a brilliant idea for him, but will he be able to handle the mental stress? With me in him, yes, because I can sort through all the memories and then allow them into his mind. Do we have a deal? Kyubi asked with her hand out. Sarutobi thought it over for a while and then nodded and took the hand. Yes, Kyubi-sama, I agree to this deal. Perfect. Now tell me about Naruto's teachers, she asked him. Better to know now than later. Okay, the first one is the leader. He is Inu, but his true name is Hitaki Kakashi. He is also called a copycat shinobi. He can help Naruto in almost any subject, but don't ask him to give him the talk, unless you want Naruto as a pervert. After that, he heard a light growl come from the child and instantly made a note to hide his copy of the book from Kyubi. Then there is Tora. He is known as Tenzo. He was an experiment that was conducted by my ex-student Orochimaru. This gave him a Mokutan mutation. He can't use it on par with Senju Hashirama, but it is still quite strong. Nico's real name is Yuzuki Yugao. She is the best Kenjutsu leader since Kushina died. She is also the second in command for the ANBU. She is also quite good in Suidan Ninjutsu. Last is Karasu. He is Uchiha Itachi. Here was another little growl from the child. Don't worry, Kyubi-sama. He is not as arrogant as his fellow clan members. He has mastered his Sharingan at age 8 and can help Naruto with the advanced stages. I also know another Uchiha that can help him, named Uchiha Shursui. He unlocked the Mangekyo and can help Naruto to control the power of his eye. The aged leader finished the list. Okay, good, but we will need a Taijutsu and non-Sharingan Genjutsu. We have to have him as a good all-rounder. Kyubi spoke. Are you sure that is good for him? He can't learn everything. Sandame spoke back. With the help of shadow clones and his Sharingan, he can learn anything. He needs to be able to counter anything that Akatsuki may throw at him. The tailed beast spoke in all honesty. This again took the old man for a ride. He might just have the best shinobi in the making, and with his clones and Jujutsu, he can learn everything that shinobi can do on the field. Does this also apply to stuff like torture and interrogation, medical ninjutsu, and other stuff like that? Said the Hokage, curiosity clearly on his face. Yes, he could do all of that, though, with the medical ninjutsu. It may have to wait until he has enough control over his chakra. I can already tell that he will learn anything fast. The tailed beast responded. Throughout this whole conversation, Naruto sat in his mind and listened to every word that was spoken. To him, it sounded like his life was going to become hell for him. Very troublesome. Oh man, now I'm sounding like Shikamaru. He complained, getting Kyubi to giggle a bit. Don't worry, I won't let you get lazy on my Naruto. Kyubi joked with him. To her, the child was really becoming fun to play with. I won't do that, Q-san. Good, it'll hurt you if you do. Naruto shivered a little at the statement. Kubi-zama hedo. Huh? Kyubi snapped out of it and saw the Hokage looking at her weird. What? You zoned out. I thought Naruto was waking up now. Oh no, I was just talking to him quickly. She replied. Okay, was there anything you needed, Kyubi-sama? The Kage asked. Not at the moment, but if there is, it'll come to you. I'm giving Naruto his body back now, so see ya. The Sandame's sweat dropped at the exit. Naruto's eyes started to return to their light blue color, and the pupil went rounded again. Well, my head is spinning, he said weakly. Are you okay, Naruto? Asked the old man. You just need to relax a bit, he replied. Okay, so I guess you heard all that we spoke about. It sounds like I have a busy life ahead of me, right? The third saw the hidden excitement in the child's eyes. He knew about his dream of becoming Hokage, and this was his first step towards that very dream. Yes, but I want you to work very hard, okay, Naruto? No messing around. This is your first step to becoming Hokage, so become strong. Now go home and get some sleep, okay? He spoke. Naruto's head dropped here. I can't, G-san. They wreaked it again, he said softly. He felt a spike and looked at the old man. He was really pissed off at what he heard. Okay, I have an idea. How about you move to a place in the shinobi section of Konoha? It might not be big, but it will be enough for you. He raised a hand, and an ANBU dropped from nowhere. Get Naruto an apartment, and put some security seals up there, he commanded. Hi, Hokage-sama. He disappeared with a shushin. 10 minutes later, the ANBU returned. It's done, Hokage-sama. I can take him there now. Who are his neighbors? Asked the old leader. Mitarashi Anko and Yuhi Kurenai, the ANBU replied. Good. With them, no one will try to get into his apartment now. Yes, please take him. He turns to Naruto. Go with the ANBU, Naruto. He will show you to your new apartment, he told the boy. Okay, G-san, bye. He went to the ANBU, and he shoeshined them both to the apartment. Konoha Shinobi section. Naruto's new apartment. The two appeared in the living room of the apartment. There was only 4 rooms, a bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, and living room. Just enough space for him. Okay, Naruto, do you see this here? The ANBU pointed to a seal on his door inside the apartment. This is the security seal. It will prevent people from getting into your apartment, and if they do, we will know instantly. Good night, Naruto. The ANBU disappeared again. Naruto went straight to the bedroom and fell on the bed. It was really comfy and soft. He was dead tired. Night, Q-san, he said to his tenant. Night, kid, came the soft feminine voice in his mind. With that, he was out and fast asleep. End of chapter 2. Meeting the senseis and beginning of training. As the sun rose, it fell on the face of Naruto. It woke him up. He groaned and turned in the comfy bed. Then his eyes snapped open. This wasn't his bed. Where is he? Then his mind woke up, and he remembered yesterday. How the mob attacked him. How he met Kyubi, and how he was going to be trained as a shinobi. He had to be sure that it wasn't a dream. Hey, Q-san, are you there? He asked softly. Yes, I am, Kit. What do you want? I'm sleeping. The tired voice came back. Oh, just checking that yesterday wasn't a dream, he replied. No, it was all real, Kit. The fox had an amused tone. Naruto got out of the bed and went to take a quick shower. While in the shower, his thoughts drifted to what he will be doing for the next few years, or so he thought. They didn't set a date for his training to stop, so he didn't know. Hey, Q-san, how long am I going to be training for? I don't know, Kit. It may take a long time for you to be prepared for the level your opponents are at, but I won't stop until you are there, she said. Okay, but when do we start? Here she forgot they didn't set a date for their training, so she felt a little sheepish. We didn't ask? It was more of a statement than a question. Oh, Kropka. Then he heard a knock on the door and opened it, showing a boar-masked ANBU. The Hokage wants to talk to you, ASAP. The ANBU told the child. Okay, he'll come there now. He closed the door and got dressed in a black shirt with a spiral on the back and black cargo pants. He walked to the Hokage tower, tried to ignore all the glares that he got from the villagers. He arrived at the tower and went to the secretary. Morning, Ji-san said he wanted to see me, he told the woman. She looked at him and gave a light smile. Sure, Naruto-kun, go in. He's waiting for you. She held no hatred for the child. She can tell the difference between a container and the contained. Thanks, Oba-san. He left and knocked on the door. He heard a soft come in from the old leader and entered the office. Morning, Ji-san. He greeted his grandfather figure. Morning, Naruto-kun. What can I do for you? He asked the enthusiastic child. He looked a little sheepish and said, when can I start my training, Ji-san? We forgot about that. The old man face-palmed himself for also forgetting about that little detail and called for Inu. Hi, Hokage-sama, the silverhead asked. Get Karasu, Nico, and Tora, and come back here, please, the old man commanded. The ANBU disappeared after the command was given to find his fellow ANBU members. Sorry about that, Naruto-kun, but I think you can start today. I'm going to come with to see what you do, okay? Sure, Ji-san. The 4 ANBU appear in the office. I got who you requested, sir. Good. I have a long-term S-rank mission for you 4. I need you to train Naruto-kun here on the order of Kyubi-sama. I need you to get him as strong as possible. All 4 members were shocked by this, but their masks hid it well. Why are you sending all of us, Hokage-sama? I'm sure only one of us will be enough to train him, asked Nico. He has about 8 S-rank ninja after him for what he contains, and also, I want to protect him from Danzo, he told the masked ninja. They all knew how much the old Warhawk wanted to make the child into a weapon for Konoha. It would have killed all of his emotions and turned him into a mindless killing machine. Also, he needs to learn how to control all 4 of his bloodlines. All the ANBU, including the ones that's hidden, had their jaws on the floor. How is that possible, Hokage-sama? How can someone have more than one bloodline without it clashing with each other? Asked Tora. I'm not sure Tenzo, but he has the Uzumaki longevity of life and also their regeneration, Hyuga's Byakugan, Uchiha Sharingan, and also the legendary Rinnegan. But there's more. The professor spoke. The ANBU present couldn't believe it, and they didn't know what to make of the but that their leader used. What is better than that, Hokage-sama? He had all 3 Jujutsus activated at the same time and worked as one. A few of the ANBU just looked like they fainted. Okay, Hokage-sama, we will train him well, but are there restrictions we should know about? Asked Karasu. No, Itachi, there isn't, and if need be you can bring others to help with the training. I also want you to ask him for assistance in the Mangekyo Sharingan that I saw in Naruto-kun's eyes. Itachi was even more shocked that a 6-year-old awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan. I'll ask him, Hokage-sama, the masked Uchiha spoke. Good, now you can take off your mask, you will be with him for a long time, and he already knows all your names, so don't worry about that. At once all of the masked ninja took their masks off to show their face. Kakashi had a face mask on that blocked his face out, but showed that his left eye was black and his right eye was closed. He had gravity-defying silver hair. Yuga was very beautiful. She had purple hair that went down her back and also black eyes. She also had red plump lips that for some reason pulled Naruto's eyes towards it. Tenzo had brown hair and black eyes, but had a weird face mask on. Itachi looked like an average Uchiha with his black hair, but was in a ponytail down his back and his Sharingan was activated. His eyes were red with 3 Tomiyos in each eye. After that, the Hokage got up and put his hat on, the hat high on the top. Come on, let's start his training. With that, he led the 5 others out his office towards the training ground. Training Ground 7. They arrived at the training ground that was very familiar to the copy Nin. This is where you will train every day, Naruto-kun. It is a good all-round training ground for you to use, the old man told the excited blonde. He was jumping up and down in excitement because he was going to be strong. Does he know how to access his chakra, Hokage-sama? Asked Yugao. I don't know. Do you, Naruto-kun? He asked. What's chakra? He asked and tilted his head to the side. I guess not. Chakra is the energy that every shinobi has and uses to do everything we do, like walk on water and do jutsu like this. Here the copy Nin does a few hand signs and shouted Katan, Gakakyu no Jutsu, and blows out a massive fireball double the size of Naruto. Naruto was shocked at what he saw. This was what the mob used on him yesterday, and this man could do it. Okay, I want you to sit down cross-legged and close your eyes, the masked man said. Naruto listened and sat down. Good, now I want you to feel inside of you for something that flows through your body. Do you feel it? He said. Naruto nodded his head when he felt it. Good, now try to pull it out, okay? He did that, and the chakra busted out of the child's body in a sphere pattern. All present were shocked by the amount of chakra given off by the child. It was easily about Jonin level in capacity. This normally meant that his control will suck, but the chakra he was calling out felt like he had complete control over it, like a storm that he can control. Okay, Naruto, that's enough, stop it. The boy stopped drawing out his chakra and got up, but a little wobbly. Wow, that was awesome, he said to the crowd. Well done, Naruto-kun, you really have a lot of chakra in you. It will make the beginning a little easier for you. The Kage spoke to the child. He pulled out a page and gave it to Naruto. Here, push some chakra to this page, Naruto-kun. YG-san. This made the ANBU chuckle at the child's words. This is chakra paper. It will tell us what your elemental affinity is. Ow! The paper will have a change for a different element. If you have fire, the paper will catch a light. If it's lightning, it will crumble into a ball. If it's wind, it will get cut in half. If it's earth, it will turn to dust. And if it's water, it will become damp. If you would Kakashi, he gave one page to Kakashi. Kakashi took it and channeled some chakra to it, and it crumbled into a ball. Then it caught a light and burned. See, I have two affinities like most Jonin have. Lightning is my main affinity, and I also have a minor affinity to fire. Now, come on, let's see what you have. Kakashi told the child. Naruto looked at the page in his hand, and then channeled some chakra into it, and the result was amazing. The page flew out of his hand, and then broke into 5 pieces. One piece caught a light and burned a blue flame to ash. Another was cut up into 1,000,000 pieces. Another crumbled into a ball, so small you could hardly see it. Then one turned into dust so quickly that it happened in an instant. And the last one turned so wet that it fell apart with water. The Kage and ANBU were shocked beyond belief. This child has all the elements, and by the look of it, they were all major affinities. I haven't seen anyone with a stronger water affinity than Tobi-sensei. He might be able to pull water out of the air as well, was Sarutobi's thoughts. How does he have an affinity to all the elements, was all the ANBU's thoughts. Wow, what does that mean? Asked the child. It means you can use all the elements, Naruto, stuttered Kakashi. Does that mean I can also use what like Tenzo can? Asked the child. I don't know, Naruto-kun. You might be able to, but it shouldn't be possible because they are bloodlines, the Sandame said. Okay, can I try at least? The enthusiastic child asked. Sure, Tense can help you with that one, the Hokage said. After this, they spoke to each other, trying to make a schedule for the child to follow. This was their plan. 6 to 8 o'clock, morning warm-ups and stretchers. 8 to 10 o'clock, chakra exercises. 10 to 12 o'clock, taijutsu training. 12 to 1300 hours, lunch. 13 to 1500 hours, genjutsu training. 15 to 1700 hours, kinjutsu training. 17 to 1800 hours, dinner. 18 to 2000 hours, dojutsu training. 20 to 2200 hours, anything else that needed to be trained in, for example, interrogation, seals, academics, etc. This schedule was to be repeated every day except when the ANBU members have a mission. During this, Naruto was thinking about how he had all the elements and decided to ask someone that must know. Hey Q-chan, how do I have all the elements? He thought to his tenant. She blushed at his error and also decided to change his name. It's because of my presence in your Rinnegan, Naruto-kun. It allows you to control all the elements and all are strong. And before you ask, yes, you'll be able to use all the sub-elements, was her reply. What is the sub-elements? He asked. It is wood, ice, scorch, blaze, crystal, magnet, dust, lava, boil, storm, and metal. They're all strong elements, but are normally only allowed to be used by those with elemental bloodlines. But you will be able to thanks to the Rinnegan and by me being in you. The tailed beast spoke to her container. Okay, thanks Q-chan. Hey guys, Q-chan said, I will be able to use the sub-elements because I have the Rinnegan and because of her. The child spoke to the group. The ANBU were shocked that he knew about his container and also that he called the demon Kuchan. Naruto-kun, is Kyubi female? Asked Yugao. Yes, she is. Why, he asked her. No, just wanted to make sure, she said straight-faced, but in her head a chibi her was dancing around saying the strongest being is female. Take that, you sexist bastards. Well, we can check that out later, but I want you to do me a favor and channel a little chakra to your eyes and say Sharingan. Make this hand sigh for now to help you channel your chakra. Itachi told Naruto and showed him the Tora hand sign. Okay, Itachi-san. He made the sign and tried to do what the Uchiha said. Next thing he knew, he felt the world slow down and his perspective. Then he said Sharingan. All present were shocked by the sight of a fully matured Sharingan that showed much power in him. Can you push more chakra to your eyes, Naruto? Itachi wanted to see if he truly had the Mangekyo unlocked. I'll try, Itachi-san. He tried to push more and felt a little pinch at the back of his eyes. To the A and B, the Tomiyos of his Sharingan span and merged together, and then took the pattern that looked like a spider's web and went to the middle, which had a circled black pupil. It looked like it was very strong, but its abilities were unknown. Itachi looked at the eyes he had yet to unlock, yet here was a child that had advanced more than him with his clan's Jujutsu. Do you also have a Sharingan, Itachi-san? The child asked. Itachi activated his Sharingan and spoke, Yam, and so does Kakashi-san. He does, but I thought his name is Hatake, not Uchiha. The child asked. I'm not, but my old teammate was an Uchiha, and before he died, he gave his Sharingan to me. Kakashi spoke before he lifted his headband up to show off his fully matured Sharingan. Naruto looked at two other Sharingan users that can teach him how to use his bloodline. Naruto, can we test your other two Jujutsus? The old man asked. Okay, G-san, ow. Stop the chakra in your eyes, and then after that channel again to your eyes, but this time just think Byakugan. Naruto tried to stop the flow, and his eyes spanned before it returned to the 3 Tomiyo Sharingan, and then turned to the blue color. After that, he pushed chakra to his eyes again, and said in his mind Byakugan. This is where his vision got weird. He saw everything in black and white, and he saw behind him as well. He also saw far away from him, and also saw blue dots on the 5 people with him. He also saw a pathway around their bodies. To the people, his eyes lost all color and then turned a lavender color with no pupil, while his veins around his eyes bulged out. What were all the blue things around you? He asked all the present people. It's all of our chakra. Chakra is normally blue for us humans, and the dots you properly see is our tenketsus or chakra points. If you block those off, then you can stop them from being able to use chakra for a day, the Kage spoke. Wow, that's cool. But how will I train in this eyes? Do any of you have them? No, but I'll ask the Hyuga's clan head, Hyuga's Hayashi, if he can train you in it. But if he does, then you must respect him. He is a clan head that will teach you his clan's techniques. Okay, Naruto. The Kage said authoritatively. Hi, Z-san. I will. The blonde child spoke kindly. Okay, now, stop your chakra again, and then do it again, but now say Rinnegan in your head. Sandame said. Okay, Jisan. He stopped the chakra again, and his eyes once again returned to normal before he started the process again. Pushing chakra again into her eyes, she thought Rinnegan. His eyes gained a ripple pattern that covered the whole eye and was a purple color and had 5 black rings in them. He saw a little chakra, but not as well as the Byakugan could, and the perceptive ability became clearer as well. Did anything happen, Ji-san? The blonde asked. Yes, here, look. He passed a mirror to Naruto. Naruto looked at his eyes and were shocked that this was the legendary Jujutsu that was wielded by the Rakuto Sennin. Wow, it looks awesome. This is amazing that I have these eyes, the child spoke. Yes, it is Naruto-kun. Now the only person I know has any knowledge of the Rinnegan is my student Jiraiya. I'm going to try to get him to come back to Konoha to train you in it. The old man said. Okay, now stop the chakra, Naruto-kun. He stopped the flow and his eyes returned to normal again. Good, now I want you to do this hand sign and push as much chakra into the jutsu. And say Kagabunshin, no, jutsu, okay. Then he showed a cross hand sign. Okay, Jisan. He did the hand sign and pushed as much chakra as he can and shouted, Kagebunshin, Ino, Jutsu. The whole training ground was covered in smoke, and when it cleared, everyone presents jaw, except Naruto's were on the ground. He had created about 500 clones, and he was only 6 years old, but he looked like he was ready to fall over, and he was before Yugao ran to him and stopped his fall. When he looked up, he was also shocked by the amount. "Did I make this much clones?" he asked. "Yes, you did, Naruto-kun," came the female Yinbiyu response. "Now how is this supposed to help me train Ji-san?" he asked again. "One of Naruto's clones go with mine." He made one clone and sent them further into the training ground. After 2 minutes, he was cheering for no reason. "Why are you cheering, Naruto-kun?" asked Yugao. "I beat Ji-san in rock, paper, scissors, so I get free ramen," he said excitedly. "But how do you know that if it was our clones that did that and not us?" asked the old man. Naruto froze and stayed like that for a bit. Then he spoke out loud. "I'll learn whatever my clones learn," he said softly. The old man smiled. "Got it right, Naruto-kun, but this only works with mental learning like jutsu, chakra control, muscle memory, and so on, not strength and speed training that you must still do on your own because it comes with your body, not mind, okay?" "Yes, Ji-san," the child spoke softly. He truthfully was a little confused because he was only 6 years old, and what they said was not 6-year-old vocabulary. He didn't know what to make of them. "You don't know what we mean, do you?" Tenzo asked the child. No, not really, sorry." The child looked sheepish. All present were chuckling that they forgot he was a child and not an adult. "Don't worry, Naruto-kun. We will help you with that," said Yugao lightly. "Thanks, Yugao-chan," the child said excitedly. She had a light blush on her face when he said that. She hid it from the others, but Kyubi saw and smirked in Naruto's mindscape. "So let's begin. Naruto, please take off your shirt, please." Kakashi spoke. "Sure, but why Kakashi-san?" the child asked. "I'm going to put some seals on you to help make your body stronger and faster. They're called weight and resistance seals." The copy Neen spoke. "I'm also going to need you to take your pants off as well." "Okay, Kakashi-san," the child spoke softly. All present were shocked by what they saw. Naruto was really malnourished that they can actually count all of his ribs, and his stomach was really slim. All present were angry at what they saw. Yugao tried to hug the child, but he stiffened and froze. She stopped and spoke to him. "I won't hurt you, Naruto-kun." He eventually relaxed and allowed her to embrace him. He tried to hug her back. The old man was actually smiling at the sight that there was someone that cared for the child. He only hoped that they stayed like that and they treat him like a family. "Okay, Naruto, I'll have to place the seals at a later time. We need to get your body into a better condition. We need to go and get you better food. Come on, let's go." Kakashi spoke and led the group towards the market district. When the group arrived, everyone glared at the small child until they felt a heavy ki from the other 5 people. One of them was the Hokage. All of the civilians were shitting their pants when they saw the glare from the old leader. Kakashi and Tenzo went around and got most of the produce that he needed. They also got some household items he will need if he wants to cook his own food. After that, they paid for the items and went to the shinobi store that was owned by Higurashi Tomio. "Hey Tomio-san, I need some help," the Kage told the man. "Greetings, Hokage-sama. How can I help you?" he asked the Kage. "I need a training kit for this boy here. 100 kunai, 200 shuriken, beginner seal supplies, beginner medical supplies, poison kit, and antidote kit. Also, I want some new clothes for him." "Go pick up your clothes, Naruto," the Kage spoke. "Yugao, go with him to make sure that he chooses correctly." "Okay, Hokage-sama. Come on, Naruto-kun. Let's get you some shinobi clothes." After that, the 2 people disappeared for a bit. After 5 minutes, they returned, and Naruto was dressed in his version of a Yinbiyu armor. He had a black short-sleeve top on, with a black chest armor on that has straps on both sides, and also guards on his arms with fingerless gloves and metal plates on the top. His pants were long and also black, and shoes were traditional shinobi sandals that were black. What surprised the other people were the sword and knife he had with him. The sword was a traditional Japanese katana the length of about 60 centimeters, and the guard had a star shape with 4 holes at the edges. The handle has a dragon on it, and all the people there can feel a power from the blade. The sheath was black as well, and the blade was also black. The knife was a tanto that was about 20 centimeters in length, and they all saw seals on the handle. The sheath was also black, but the blade was a light white, also had the dragon emblem on it. "Naruto-kun, where did you find that?" asked the aged leader. Over there. He pointed towards a section where all the powerful weapons or summons and sentient weapons were. Naruto, why did you take those weapons? Kakashi asked. I don't know. I felt a pull to them, and when I picked it up, it felt like a part of me. He spoke. Tomio was shocked by this. Aren't those the dragon weapons that only summoners can pick up? I thought that no one can use it, he thought. The Hokage was also shocked by this. He knew what it was as well, and he had a different thought. Maybe he has an affinity to the Dragon Clan. Maybe he can summon them later on. All the EMBU were confused, so they just stayed quiet. They didn't know that the weapons were from a summon clan, much less the Dragon Clan. Okay, come on guys, let's go. We've got one more stop left before we're done for the day, spoke the old man. Tomio returned with everything that the Kage asked for and was about to ring it all up, but asked, Hey Hokage-sama, who is this all for? It is for Naruto-kun. He will be able to learn anything we teach him. He has a photographic memory and perfect control, even though he has reserves that are 10 times bigger than mine. The Kage told the owner whose jaw was on the floor. You can't be serious, Hokage-sama. I mean, he is child. The man spoke. When we taught him the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, he made about 500 clones alone. Again, his jaw was on the floor. He also has an affinity to all elements, and properly also sub-elements as well. We just need to train him. That's why the next trip is to the library for Jutsu and elemental training. Again, the owner couldn't even speak when he heard that. The problem was that only Jonin or ninjutsu users have more than one element they affiliated to. The fact that a child has 5 elements and possibly bloodline elements like the Shodame's Mokutan was very shocking to the man. If he wants to, he can come to me if he wants to learn blacksmithing and metal forging, or even come to me if he wants to get any weapon training. I'm sure Tintin wouldn't mind having a new friend, said the muscle man. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you for your offer. The Kage was surprised by the offer. The muscle man knew that the Hokage was surprised and said, I know that these 4 A and B you are teaching him, and I also want to help the future guardian of Konoha. What do you think about it, Naruto-kun? The Kage turned to the child. I don't mind this, G-san. I don't see any hate in his eyes for my tenant, and I can use all the help I can get from the Akatsuki. He also said something about someone named Tintin. Maybe I can make a new friend. He said excited. Tintin is my daughter, and she's your age, Naruto, and she's very good at weapons. She is also very friendly and similar to you in personality. She's also in the Shinobi Academy, Tomio said to the child. Thanks, Tomio-san, the child said. No problem at all, Naruto-san, Tomio replied. After that, they sealed all the stuff he bought into some storage scrolls and left for the library. When they arrived, they went straight to the Shinobi section, and then they bought a book on manipulation for each element. Naruto looked through the one for wind nature manipulation and instantly thought, this is going to be very difficult. I don't even understand most of it, and how can I cut a waterfall in half? Don't forget, Naruto-kun, we will be there to help you, Yugao said in a reassuring tone, as if sensing his thoughts. Thanks, Yugao-chan, the child said in a happy tone when he looked at her. This got her to blush and had to look away. She couldn't understand why. Why am I feeling like this for a boy that's 6 years old, and I'm still with Hayate-kun? This, of course, was noticed by the old leader and smiled at his thoughts. Well, Naruto-kun, it looks like you can draw a girl's love even at your age, and while she's with someone. Maybe you can even revive your clan, but that's for a later time. His inner pervert was thinking about when they go to the bedroom with more than one partner. What he didn't know was that the child's tenant was thinking the same thing, but in a different way. What does this woman think she's trying to do with my Naruto-kun? If anyone is going to have him, it's me, she said before she heard what she said. Wait, when did he become mine, and why do I want him? This also caused her to blush deeply. They also bought books on chakra, control, and some jutsu, as well as books on Ira ninjutsu, and poisoning and herbs. There was also a book that Kakashi thought he would like. Chakra sensory? What's that, Kakashi-san? The child asked. It's an ability that only some people can learn. It allows a shinobi to tell when a person is nearby, and is also used to track a person if you're following someone. It's very useful, and if your ability in it is strong enough, then you can even identify people by their chakra signature, the masked shinobi said. Cool, but don't I have enough to learn already? Asked the boy. Naruto Koen with your Sharingan and clones, you have a photographic memory and will never forget anything. The Kage spoke. Okay, thanks Ji-san. The child spoke. After that, they went to the Jinjutsu section and pulled some info on it. They also got some training exercises in Jinjutsu, Ninjutsu, Taijutsu, and Kinjutsu for him to do in his own time. They also went into the civilian section and picked out books on the laws of all the villagers and also got some books on politics. He also got some books on things that were needed at the academy. Naruto was really shocked by the amount of books he had to read. Yugao and Kyubi both were just giggling at his face. It was really funny on a 6-year-old's face. Naruto ended his day and went home. When he got home, he just went to his bed and instantly fell asleep. End of chapter 3. The Council and Konoha attacks? Time skip. 2 years later. Naruto, age 8. We find Naruto meditating near a waterfall at Training Ground 7 while his senseis were watching him. He had improved drastically that you can actually say he was an experienced Chunin shinobi. His taijutsu skills were around mid to high Chunin level with his seals active, and without them, he was around low Jonin. He has also started to learn about the inner gates and how to open them. All bookwork though. The Kage forbidden his teacher, Mado Guy, from teaching it to him until he can recite the info and his body developed enough to handle the power of the inner gates. His Jinjutsu hadn't gone past Sharingan Jinjutsu and high-ranked ones like the Nidame's Kokwanji no Jutsu, which completely darkens the world around the person it's casted on, which makes it impossible to see even to Jujutsu users because of him not having high enough control to start them yet. But he could at least dispel all Jinjutsu that was thrown at him. His ninjutsu was another story. He has only mastered 2 of his affinities, fire and wind, completely, and has started with lightning. He knew at least 5 jutsu for each element, though, and tried to learn some with jutsu from Tenzo, but he couldn't until he has mastered the elements needed for the sub-element. His Kinjutsu was coming along well, and he was mid-Chunin with his sword. He still didn't learn about his special weapons, but the Kage thought that it could wait until he was older. He also tried to learn Bujitsu and got to high Jinin level in that thanks to the Kage. He also improved with Kunai and Shuriken that he could throw a weapon and hit a bull's eye on a moving target 95% of the time, which was very good for someone his age. He didn't start learning medical ninjutsu yet, but had studied herbs and medicines along with poisons and antidotes. He also went through books on all known conditions. He can diagnose someone by just a list of symptoms now and how to cure you. His Fuinjutsu was shocking. He already got to the expert level of seals and had a wider knowledge of seals than the Sandame himself. The Sandame wasn't a seal master, but he was still good at seals, so this was a major shock to the old man when he found this out. His chakra capacity had increased because of all the shadow clones and ninjutsu training he got. He could make about 1,000 shadow clones now before he became slightly winded. Then he still had enough chakra to fight a Chunin on even ground. His chakra control was about mid to high Chunin now. He knew the leaf sticking exercise, tree walking, a more advanced version of the leaf sticking where he has to hover it 2 feet in front of him and rotate it, and water walking. He started to learn the kunai balancing when he makes a kunai float on his fingertip and then makes it spin in any direction. His Dojutsu skills was great. It was like he was born with them on the whole time. He has basically mastered his Byakugan to another level. Even when Hayashi comes to train him, he found out that Naruto's Byakugan was better than his. Naruto's range was further without training and can see the Tenketsus clearer. His Sharingan was also already at its 3rd level of mastery. It allows him to copy all ninjutsu and taijutsu, and when he can use it, Jinjutsu. His Mangekyo was also stronger, if not stronger than Madara's Eternal. So far, he has used a partial Susanoo and even been able to use Shursue's Kotoeme Tsukumi Jutsu that can control people, but he still can't use it more than twice a year until he has control over his body. His Rinnegan hadn't advanced at all. He didn't have anyone to train him with it. He didn't have much chance because of his hectic training program. The thing that confused a lot of the medics at the hospitals was his body and blood. His blood had genetic details from the Hyuga's clan, Uchiha clan, Senju clan, Uzumaki clan, and an unknown clan. His body was developing way too fast compared to other adults, not to mention kids, and his body's regeneration rate was astronomical. With the speed that his body heals, it's possible that anything short of cutting his head off won't be fatal to the child. He could possibly even regenerate lost limbs if he loses one. He got the Academy's Taijutsu style down and started learning the clan's Taijutsu style. The Uchiha's Interceptor style, the Hyuga's Gentle Fist, the Senju's Nature Fist from a scroll, and Uzumaki's Flowing Fist. Kyubi is also teaching him the Fox Fist, which relies on using her chakra and claws. He also learned Konoha's Kenjutsu style and started to learn the Uzumaki's Kenjutsu style from scrolls. He also learned that he could use golden chakra chains that can suppress demons' chakra and absorb normal chakra. His academic studies have been completed. All 5 years of academics that others needed the full 5 years was done in 1 year by Naruto. So now he was mid-Chunin in skills unknown. This was amazing considering his age, but he had even more power when he and Kyubi worked together. He could use up to 5 tails of the demonic chakra in level 1 cloak while staying in control. It was tough for him since all that chakra was trying to make him go into a rage. His Senju blood was helping to suppress the bloodlust and rage. She has also started helping in his training by pulling him into his mindscape when he slept and trained him there on anything he needed help on. It was mostly on Fuinjutsu and Ninjutsu. She also helped him with some knowledge of other hidden villagers and countries. She taught him several seals that were lost in time. It helped in his studies so he can get to expert level. She also told him about every poison and how to cure them, all using her chakra and his own Senju chakra. It also allowed him to get more control over her chakra without the malicious intent. Their relationship had also improved, and now were acting like a sibling, but Kyubi still had very strong feelings for him, since he was the first human to talk to her like she was a person and not like a demon. His relationships with his teachers were also getting much better. Kakashi has become a real brother figure for Naruto. He didn't tell the child his parents' names, but he told him stories about them. He also taught him his 2 personal jutsu Chidori and Raikiri. It took a while, but he could use them better than him, and also he made some branch versions like Chidori Senbon, which makes lightning Senbon to hit pressure points, and Chidori Nagashi, which releases a charge out of his body and acts as a defense for anyone that's touching his body. Tenzo was really a good guardian for him. He would not pull any punches during training, but outside of training, he is a little overprotective of him, and when they train in controlling Kyubi's chakra, he really worries about him. Itachi acted like he was a cold person, but was really a good-natured person. He brought his sister with him to training so Naruto can meet her. Her name was Uchiha Satsuki, and she was amazed by Naruto's abilities. She herself had just started training to be a shinobi, and this child was only 2 years older than her, but much stronger than her. He was stronger than her brother when he was that age. She did develop a little fan-girlish liking to Naruto. Itachi noticed this and thought that she would like Naruto when she becomes older. Yugao took a liking to Naruto. She was always worried that he was being overworked. Her little crush on him developed into a full-blown love thing. She really did love the child, even though he was younger than her. She taught him everything she can about her Kenjutsu style, and is still trying to teach him the Uzumaki Kenjutsu style in strength and speed training. There were other trainers that came to help his training. Might Guy taught him Taijutsu and trying to teach him the other styles even though he doesn't know them, but he is known as Konoha's Taijutsu expert, so he tried by watching him going through his styles. He also taught him about the inner gates, but nothing outside of books yet. Yuri Kurenai came to Naruto's training when it's Genjutsu time, and she tries to train him in the art, but only got the high-level Genjutsu down. She acts like a mother-sister figure. Mitarashi Anko came with Kurenai to train Naruto as well. She wants to train him in the snake-style taijutsu, but had to wait because he's learning too many styles already. She also took a liking to the child, just like her friend. Hyuga Hayashi was asked by the Hokage to train Naruto, since he somehow had his clan blood and eyes. He at first was impressed by his eyes' abilities. It was better than his, and it took him 30 years to get them where they are. He got even more impressed by how fast the boy was catching on what he taught to him. He had basically memorized where all the fixed tenketsus are on a body and also learned the Hyuga's taijutsu and ninjutsu at an impossible rate. He also brought his 6-year-old daughter Hinata and 3-year-old daughter Hanabi ever since Naruto stopped the attempted kidnapping of Hinata by Kumobikir no Sato, or the Hidden Lightning Village. Uchiha Shursui loved to be around Naruto, and training him was a blast to him. He was so surprised when he found out he could use the Mangekyo Sharingan and his Kodo Amatsukami Jinjutsu. He taught him quite a bit of Sharingan Jinjutsu. He also taught him how to use his Sharingan to hypnotize people without casting a Jinjutsu on them. And let's just say that it got him service at places inside Konoha. Sarutobi Asuma came to train Naruto in his wind control and also to use wind chakra in weapons like Asuma's chakra knives. He also came to flirt with Kurenai, which got him a slap to his check, and her patented Jinjutsu that was for perverts involving them in Guy and a yaoi scene. He didn't stop crying for 2 weeks at the memories. Sarutobi Hiruzen also helped in the child's training by coming once a month to test his progress with an all-out fight, and also taught him fire nature control. He didn't do much else because of the council. He didn't want them to find out about Naruto and his training yet. This didn't work out well when the civilian representative and said that tomorrow Naruto, the Hokage himself, and all of Narrator's teachers are to report to a council meeting. He was already getting a headache thinking about what they want to say. Time skip next day. Naruto got up and got dressed in his regular ENBU-style clothes, just with a new coat as an added extra. His coat was purple with the elements on in a clockwise shape: fire, wind, lightning, earth, and water. There were kanji going down the back that said Konoha Guardian. He got outside his apartment, and all his senseis, even Hayashi and his substitutes, were waiting for him outside. They greeted and walked towards the tower. Hokage Tower, Council Chambers. The group made it to the chambers, and everyone but Hayashi waited outside. Hayashi went inside because he was on the council, so he had to be inside when the other came in. Naruto turns to Yugao, Kurenai, and Anko. "What do you think the council wants with us?" he asked the women. "I don't know, Naruto-kun," said Kurenai. Anko and Yugao just nodding their head at the reply. Before they can continue, an ANBU appeared in front of him. "The council is ready for you now, Uzumaki-san and company," the ANBU said and disappeared. "We're about to find out Naruto, so let's go," Tenzo said, and Naruto led the group to the door and in the room. The council was seated in a circular pattern with 2 seats left open on the shinobi side for Uzumaki and Senju. Naruto and his group stood in front of the council. They consisted of the Hokage, and on his right side were Narashikiku, Akimichi Choza, Yamanaka Inoichi, Inazuka Sum, Aburame Shibi, Uchiha Fuku, Hyuga Hayashi, and Sarutobi Asuma. On the Kage's left side was the civilian side, and there were just some rich merchants or civilians with high standing in the community. Also in the room right next to the Hokage were his advisors Shimura Danzo, Midokado Hamura, and Yuditane Kaharu. The Kage cleared his throat. "Okay, can someone please tell me why I had to summon these people today?" The Kage spoke. A fat merchant on the civilian side got up and smirks at Naruto. He instantly wanted to kill the guy, but held back. "Yes, Hokage-sama. It has come to our attention that this child has been receiving training, and we demand that it be stopped immediately. We cannot allow him to become any stronger, or he will be the death of us." The civilians smirk at this, thinking that today is the day they kill the demon. The Kage was thinking how the council found out about the training and instantly had an answer. "Danzo must have been watching us with his Neien BU. He thinks I don't know he still runs it, but as soon as Naruto is strong enough, his first ANBU mission will be to wipe you out." Danzo was smirking at the Kage's face. He thought that Sarutobi didn't know about his ANBU still being operational. "I say we banish him for taking control of our ANBU. He will be treated like the demon he is," one of the merchants say with a smirk on his face. Naruto was getting angry. This was the countless time they tried to get him banished for nothing at all. They kept on trying to get him either banished as a whole or get turned into a weapon that Danzo trains to be useful to Konoha. If Danzo trains Naruto, he will lose all emotion and just fight for the cripple. It wasn't what the child wanted at all. Kakashi and Tenzo both put a hand on Naruto's shoulders to calm him down. They weren't doing any better themselves, but as ANBU, they can control their emotions more. Kakashi spoke here. "He isn't controlling us, Honorable Council. We were asked to train him." "By who, Kakashi-sen?" asked Aburaim Shibi. By me, the Sandame said, his voice full of conviction. But why Hokage-sama? He's just a demon, was a fat merchant question. He killed my husband, he deserves to die, was Haruno Mabuki's screech. Your husband attacked him, and he defended himself by fighting back. If your husband died, then it was his own fault for attacking Naruto-kun, the old man stated. The Hokage has been hypnotized by the demon. ANBU killed the demon, the Banshee said while the ANBU stared at the woman, thinking she was crazy. Kyubi and I are two different beings, they heard a child voice say. They look at Naruto, who was staring at them. How do you know about Kyubi Naruto? Asked Yamanaka Inoichi. I met Kyubi after the mob attacked me on my 6th birthday. It had to heal me after what they did to me. The child looked down. He couldn't tell them the full truth, but he could talk about his injuries. What injuries? Was Inuzuka-sama's question. They stabbed me at least 50 times with bottles or knives or kunai or anything that could stab me. After that, they threw Katon Jutsu that gave me 3rd-degree burns all over my body. Before all of this, they beat me up until I had broken bones in my ribs and arms. The child said, every time wincing, remembering how painful that day was for him. The whole Shinobi Council was silent. Never before had they heard of such abuse on anyone, never mind a child of 6 years old. This level of abuse was unheard of anywhere, even for Jinchurikis. Sum and her partner was growling worse after each thing they heard, and were happy that they weren't there that day, or there would have been much more deaths, and very gruesome. The civilian council were just smirking, thinking that he deserved everything he got, and more. The elders didn't care about it. They never felt anything for the child because they thought of him as Konoha's weapon. Sarutobi saw how the Shinobi Council looked after the news, and was happy. Since these shinobi are not under anyone's control, then they can train who they want to. They want to train him, so I'll allow it. Now, this meeting is over. Sarutobi spoke to the council. The shinobi left while the elders stayed behind. The elders were pissed. Their plan backfired, and Sarutobi got his fight back. Danzo spoke again. We need to deal with him now and get him under our control. We need to make him into our weapon. Yes, but how, was Hamura's reply. Maybe you can use your to attack him and make him think that they are normal ANBU. After that, we can get him to trust us and be our weapon. Kohara spoke. Okay, I'll give it 2 weeks before I'll get my ENBU to attack. Danzo said. Time skip, 2 weeks. Naruto walks into his training field and instantly senses other people in the area. He had his guard up in case they were hostile. He did it just in time to duck under a slash from a sword that would have cut his head off. He made some distance from his attacker. He saw 10 people in ANBU clothes and masks. Why are you attacking me? He's asking the ANBU. You need to die, demon. We're tired of you walking around here like you own a place, the apparent leader said. Then Naruto saw 5 of the ANBU weave hand sign and stiffened. He figured out what jutsu they were going to use and weave his own. Katon, Ryuka no Jutsu. Suidan, Suijin Hiki. A massive wall of water appeared in front of Naruto where it fought with a wave of fire. The mist after was dense. 2 ENBU came out of the mist towards the child with tantos drawn. Naruto drew his blade and blocked the attack from one of them. The other one attacked from behind him, and he had to roll out of the way. Naruto added some wind chakra to his sword to lengthen it and sharpen it. They again charged him, and Naruto swiped at the ANBU. The ENBU's tanto was cut in half, and also had his head cut off. After that, he heard a jutsu futon, Daituba. The mist was pushed away by a blast of wind. When they saw their dead comrade, they couldn't believe it. A child of 8 years killed an ENBU. The leader saw how he did it, though, and was quite impressed. You're a good kid, using wind chakra to lengthen your blade and make it sharper, so to strengthen it. It's impressive for your age, but it won't help you. The leader spoke and pulled his blade out. He pushed fire chakra to his, and the blade lit up in orange flames, making Naruto worry. He knew that wind was weak against fire. Naruto disappeared and went after the other ENBU. He got to one and sliced at the man's chest, making a scar appear and a tear in the ANBU's uniform. He disappeared again and sliced at another who dodged under the wind blade and strike back, but Naruto cut his blade in half. The leader then appeared behind Naruto and slashed horizontally at the boy. Naruto ducked under the blade, but still got burned by the fire blade. He jumped back and stopped the wind chakra and sheathed his blade. The ENBU thought he was giving up until they saw him get into a well-known stance inside of Konoha. He got into the Jukin stance with his palm out and activated his Byakugan. With his Byakugan activated, he could tell they aren't ENBU. They don't have a tattoo on their shoulder, and also there was a seal on their tongue that he didn't see before. The ENBU were shocked at seeing the Jujutsu in his eyes. The leader just sent his guys to attack the child. Naruto saw this and started offended. He threw a palm thrust at the first person that connected, and the second he blocked off his main chakra points. Another got behind him and ducked under a sword strike. He again hit a Tenketsu behind the ENBU's neck, knocking him out. He spotted a kunai towards him and dodged, but noticed too late that there was a flash tag on it. He deactivated his eyes and tried to close his eyes, but he was too late. He became blinded and disorientated. He hadn't trained his other senses and now was screwed. The leader walked towards the child. "Well, I guess this is it for you, demon. Time to die." He went to kill the child until he felt a presence behind him, and when he looked he saw a cat mask and purple hair before he blacked out. Yugao was pissed, and after knocking out the leader, she attacked the remaining 5 fakes and killed them. Naruto just heard fighting and slashes until a soft voice entered his ears. "Naruto-kun, are you okay?" Yugao asked. "I can't see Yugao-chan. They threw a flash tag while my Byakugan was on," he said. The other senseis appeared and saw the bodies. "Yugao, what happened?" Kakashi asked. "I don't know. When I got here, I found Naruto-kun fighting Yenbiyu." Yugao replied, a little anger in her voice. Kakashi lifted a mask of one of the dead Yenbiyu and didn't recognize the person. "This is not any Yenbiyu that I know." Kakashi spoke. "I noticed that they don't have your tattoos on their arms, and there's a seal on their tongues. I think it was a seal that prevents someone from talking about something specific. It's similar to a cursed seal." Naruto spoke. They were shocked at the child's knowledge on seals, and Kakashi opened the dead Yenbiyu's tongue and saw the seal on it. "Is there a way to break it?" he asked. "I don't know. I didn't have time to think about how to break it with all my fighting," Naruto said. "Okay, let's get you to the hospital." Yugao picked Naruto up bridal style and disappeared. Kakashi sealed away the bodies and then took the leader and knocked out people to the ANBU interrogation cells. Itachi and Tenzo went to the Hokage office to inform the Kage of the attack. They shoeshined into the Hokage's office and saw the old man filling out paperwork again, but the amount was staggering. "Hokage-sama, Naruto was attacked by fake ENBU." Tenzo spoke. The Kage was instantly worried. "Is he okay, Tenzo?" the old man asked. "He's been temporarily blinded, Hokage-sama. He had his Byakugan activated when they threw a flash tag. He should get his sight back in 2 days." Itachi spoke. It happened to him as well, and it took 2 days until he regained his sight. "We need to train him outside the village. This is really becoming a problem with villagers attacking him," the Kage thought out loud. "That's not all. My clan wants to move forward with the coup," Itachi said. The Uchiha clan was going to stage a coup so they can take control of Konoha. They felt like they were being pushed away from Konoha. None of their clan members were made Hokage, but 2 Senjus were Hokage. To them, it wasn't fair. They were the founders of Konoha with the Sunjus, and yet they were feared. Ever since the Kyubi incident, Itachi and Shursui had informed the Kage about their clan's intention and acted as a double agent. Itachi was told by his father to join ANBU to get intel for the clan, but he is helping the Kage and got his best friend to help him as well. "Okay, thank you, Itachi. I want you to keep me informed," the Kage said. He hoped it didn't come to the clan sterilization. His advisors had recommended this and said they can rebuild the Uchiha clan to be loyal to Konoha and listen to them by keeping the children alive. It sickened him by what they wanted to do, and he wouldn't stand for it. "Is that all?" the Kage asked. Getting a nod from the Umbu, he said, "Dismissed." The ANBU left and went to their student at the hospital. Konoha Hospital. Naruto woke up to nothing. He couldn't see anything because he had bandages on his eyes, but based on the smell, he was in hospital. Yugao saw that the child was awake and got up from her seat. "Naruto-kun, are you okay?" she asked worriedly. I'm good, Yugao-chan, but I can't see anything yet. Naruto said. Itachi said that you should be able to see tomorrow. It's temporary blindness. Yugao said. Naruto nodded and got up. He was a little dizzy, but sat up in the bed. Is there anything that I should know, Yugao-chan? Naruto asked the purple beauty. The three that we left alive didn't say a word, but we want you to look at the seals on their tongues. It even blocked the Yamanaka's mind jutsu from entering their minds. We also know who they are. They're an ANBU from Danzo's personal guards. He must have sent them to kill you, Yugao said. Naruto instantly remembered the old war hawk with one eye. The Sandaime had warned him to stay away from that man. He said that he was going to try and use him as a weapon and instantly knew why he did it. He wants me to think Konoha hates me, so he'll join him in his zenny. Naruto spoke. Yugao was again surprised by the child's analytical skills. Most jonin didn't have his skills like his. Before they could speak anymore, the old man walked into the room. He looked like he was older than he was. Hey G-san, what's wrong? Naruto asked, sensing the tension in his chakra. I am sorry, Naruto-kun. I didn't think that Danzo would do that, but I should have prepared for that. I honestly didn't think he would take that this far. The Kage said, looking hollow. G-san, don't worry about that. It wasn't you that attacked me. It was Danzo and his Nanin. He wanted me to be his weapon and to only listen to him. Naruto spoke with a gentle smile. I still think of you as my G-san. Right here was when a bird and Itachi jumped in through the window. Sir Shursui is dead, Itachi said with a lot of sadness in his voice. What? Was the collected shout from everyone in the room. Everyone was shocked, but Naruto was pissed, and they could feel it by Kyuubi's chakra circulating through him. Who did this? Naruto asked, pissed. Danzo had attacked him for his Sharingan. He got his right eye, but didn't take the left one. Itachi spoke. Naruto was so pissed at this that Kyuubi's chakra had healed his eyes. The enraged child tore the bandages off of his eyes and looked at the people in his presence. His eyes took the Rinnegan shape with a Mangekyo Sharingan in it. It had rage all over the eye. When he saw the raven, he saw Shursue's Mangekyo in it. Where is Shursue's body? Naruto asked. He jumped over a waterfall and I couldn't find his body. He did it so I can awaken these. He showed them a three-pointed Mangekyo Sharingan. Also, my clan wants to start the coup in a week. Itachi added. Naruto was pissed at this, and so was Hiruzen. Itachi, I need you to do a high S-rank mission with Naruto. Itachi was surprised by this, and Naruto was too pissed to care. What is a Hokage-sama? Itachi asked. I need you two to eliminate all members of the Uchiha clan that are involved in this coup. The Kage spoke authoritatively. Naruto will need a mask, so no one can identify him. Naruto was dead serious, but Yugao was scared. I don't think that Naruto-kun is ready for this, sir. He is only 8 years old. Yugao said. I know, but he has the Mangekyo Sharingan, and he's at least mid-Chunin level. He also had his first kill yesterday. The Sandaime said. Hokage-sama, I have a request. I want to spare my mother. She's been against the coup since she found out, and the kids will also need to have a caretaker to watch them. Itachi spoke. Okay, Itachi, that I can agree to. You can also tell her the reason behind the massacre of your clan. The old man agreed. After this, I want you to come with Naruto to my office. The Kage spoke. Hi Hokage-sama. And with that, Itachi and Naruto disappeared to get his uniform. Yugao, I want you to get Naruto's other teachers, and I mean all of them. He said. Hi Hokage-sama, she said, and also disappeared. Time skip, 2 hours later. Naruto and Itachi returned to the Kage's office to find Naruto's other teachers and all his belongings in a storage scroll. Naruto-kun, I saw the attack as a warning that you can't advance far enough in the village at this moment. So I'm sending you and your 4 EMBU teachers on an 8-year training trip to your clan's old home, the ruins of Izushio no Sato. I hope it will help you to become stronger, and I'm sure some clan items are still there since only an Uzumaki can get in, the Kage said. Naruto was shocked by this. He was going to be out of Konoha for such a long time and had to ask, Hokage-sama, why am I being sent out for this long? He asked seriously. All the clan heirs will graduate in 8 years' time, and I want you to be in their class, the old man said. Naruto nodded as he understood it. Wait, is my Jonin sensei's coming with me? Only sometimes I'll send them to help in training in their sections. I'll also send some missions for you to gain some experience. The old man said, Okay, we should go now. I'm going to be marked as a nuke nin after my actions. Itachi said, Itachi, after the 8 years, I want you to join Akatsuki and act as a spy for Naruto. I also want you to help protect the other Jinchurikis. I want you to tell us about their locations and also their identities so we can help them. The Kage said seriously. Hi Hokage-sama, Itachi said. After that, Naruto said goodbye to Guy, Kurenai, Anko, Asuma, and Hayashi and left Konoha. He asked them to say goodbye to the other kids that he was friends with. End of chapter. Translations. Kokwanjiu no Jutsu, bringer of darkness technique. Kodoamet Tsukami, distinguished heavenly gods. Chidori 1000 birds. Raikiri, lightning blade. Chidori Simban, 1000 birds needles. Chidori Nagashi, 1000 birds current. Katan, Ryuka no Jutsu, fire style, dragon fire technique. Suetun, Suijin Hiki, water style, water formation wall. Futon, Daitupa, wind style, great breakthrough chapter 4. Naruto and his Ambu guardians were walking through Hai no Kuni towards their destination. Ususugakure no Kuni. Naruto was talking to Kakashi. So what am I going to learn at Yuzu, Kakashi-san? Well, we will continue with your standard schedule, but we have to push you past your limit, and also we're going to start training your Rinnegan and mission experience. Kakashi said. Also, we will train you in using your other senses other than sight. Your sensory abilities must also be improved. Yugao said. We will also start with sub-elemental training and also full control of Kyuubi's chakra. We were also told that Jiraiya-sama will come to you and train you with Fuin Jutsu. Tenzo stated. I also want to complete your chakra control, and also one-handed jutsus, as well as jutsu with no seals will help you to combine jutsu for more damage. Itachi added. Don't forget that we have your other senseis also coming over the 7 years we will be training. They can also train you in their areas of expertise. Kakashi reminded. Naruto was silent now. He really thought that it was going to be impossible to do all of that in only 7 years. Yugao spoke to him like she knew his worries. Don't worry, Naruto-kun. You have your shadow clone so you can master anything at all. We also have a lot of time. She tried to get him to calm down. Thanks, Yugao-chan, he said to her, smiling. He also heard a voice in his head. Come on, Naruto-kun. This is what you need to get stronger to protect everyone. Besides, you aren't alone. I'm here for you. He heard Kyuubi say. He sent her a mental nod and a hug. It still made Naruto worried with all the learning he had. They were still walking while the guards were talking among themselves. I hope this works for Naruto-kun. He's going to need all the training he can get if he wants to survive against Akatsuki and Orochimaru. He also needs help against Danzo, but after this training trip, he should be good. Yugao said. Yes, but we really need to focus on it. We can't slack of or take it easy on him. Kakashi said. Kakashi-san, when do we get to Yuzu? Naruto asked the masked man. I say about 2 days until we get to Yuzu. Calm down, Kakashi said, seeing Naruto's anxious face. I can't. I'm going to see my clan's village, which they created. Is there still any Uzumakis left? Asked the child. I doubt it, Naruto. Yuzu is just ruins now after the Third Great Shinobi War. It was destroyed by a Kumo-Kuriiwa alliance because of their skills that made them feared. Kakashi spoke. Naruto looked like a person who had his dream shattered in front of him. He was the last surviving Uzumaki in the elemental nations. There had to be survivors of my clan, Kakashi. People who got away from the attack. Naruto said, his eyes holding some hope in them along with sadness at not ever meeting his family. It's possible, but if so, then it was very few and scattered, the masked nin spoke. It doesn't matter. I swear on my life to find the remaining members of my clan and reunite us together. He spoke confidently and with assertiveness. The four Anbu smiled at Naruto's announcement and silently vowed to make him strong enough to achieve his dream. It was the least they could do for Konoha's future guardian. Time skip. 2 days later, Yuzu no Kuni. The 5 nin were walking down a road in the ruins of Yuzu no Sato. It was a horrid sight. There was bones with weapons and scraps of clothing laying around. They were all dead silent, paying their respects to the dead shinobi around the area. Naruto was horrified. This wasn't the first time that he saw a body of he killed, but it was the first time that the body was someone related to him. He couldn't take it and just started running further into the ruined city. Naruto-kun, Yugao said, and tried to follow him, but was stopped by Kakashi. What are you doing, Taicho? Yugao asked angrily. Leave him. He needs to be alone for a bit. He needs to get used to the death of his clan. Besides, we can still track him with the seed Tenzo planted on him in case this happened. Kakashi stated. You knew this would happen? Yugao asked, her voice dangerous. I had a hunch something like this would happen, he replied sadly. Then he sighed. Come, we need to keep up with him, he said before the four Umbu followed after the child. Naruto was running down the street with tears falling from his face. He couldn't handle this. His clan was dead, and all that was left of them was bones and ruins. This he couldn't handle. I'm so sorry, Naruto-kun. You don't deserve this, but the world's not a happy place. Kyubi thought, shedding a few tears at seeing her container so hurt. He stopped when he saw a huge shadow. He looked up and saw a lone building still standing. It looked like the battle happened around it, but didn't touch it. It looked like the Hokage Tower, but where the fire symbol was, there was a swirl that looked like a whirlpool. He went inside the tower, and he felt a pull on his chakra for just a second before it stopped. He looked around, but saw nothing. There was a corridor on the left side that he went down. He climbed the stairs and came to two doors that were closed. He went inside and saw what looked like the Hokage's office to him. There was a picture of the wall and a huge window behind the desk showing the ruins of the once great village. Naruto went to the table and saw a scroll on it. He opened it and saw a seal that he instantly recognized. It was a blood seal. It was properly used to make sure that the person getting anything out of there was Uzumaki by blood. He pulled out a kunai from his pouch and cut his hand. He let the blood drop onto the seal and then channeled some chakra into the seal. The seal glowed for a second until the array expanded and words started to appear on the scroll. If you can read this, then you are of Uzumaki descent. You are at your ancestral home, and all that's left of our clan belongs to you now. In the basement of the tower is a vault with all of our scrolls and weapons that you now own. There's another blood seal on the door that will only open for Uzumakis. There's also a scroll on our bloodline there. There's also a scroll for an Uzumaki who possesses the Rinnegan. Use our knowledge to bring peace to the world, young Uzumaki, and stay strong. The Shodame Uzukage. Naruto was silent while he read the scroll and shocked. There's also a map there showing how to get to the vault. Naruto left the office and went to the stairs leading to the vault. But he felt the chakra of his four Umbu guards at the entrance, but they hadn't entered the building. Kakashi, Itachi, Tenzo, and Yugao was outside the tower where Naruto entered, but couldn't enter because of a barrier seal around the building. The only way Naruto got in was that it only allowed Uzumakis in. They stood there looking at the tower. It looked like the Uzukage's version of the Hokage's tower. They saw Naruto walking towards them. Hey guys, why are you just standing there? He asked confused. We can't enter, Naruto-kun. Look, Yugao made a shadow clone and made it try to enter the tower until a barrier erected around it and shocked the clone. Naruto was shocked by this. Wait, Yugao-chan, make another clone. Naruto said and made one himself. Yugao made one and saw Naruto's clone go towards hers, and he grabbed her hand. After that, the two clones walked through the barrier without any problems at all. Okay, Naruto, make two more clones to get us in. Kakashi said. Naruto did it, and the four Umbu walked through the barrier and into the tower. Where are you going, Naruto? Tenzo asked. I went to the office already and found a scroll saying that I must go to the vault in the basement for my inheritance. Naruto said. They got there and saw a massive metal door with no handle. How do you think we're going to get in it? Itachi asked. Naruto walked towards the door and pulled his kunai out, slashing his hand again and swiping his blood on the door. A seal appeared and glowed before a click was heard. The door swinged open. The room was massive with white floors and walls. There were some seals that causes the room to be lit, and inside was a massive amount of scrolls and weapons in it. Naruto was shocked by the amount in the room. It was really like a library. The scrolls were sorted into different shinobi areas. There was also an area for non-shinobi knowledge. In the shinobi section was an area for ninjutsu, jinjutsu, taijutsu, kinjutsu, fuinjutsu, and chakra and nature manipulation. The ninjutsu section was also separated into elements. There was katan, suiton, doton, raiton, futon, sub-elements, non-elemental, and medical ninjutsu. Jinjutsu was separated into ranks. It was from E rank to S rank. Taijutsu was separated into different styles: offensive, defensive, and mixed elements. There was also a separate section called Nin Taijutsu. What's Nin Taijutsu, Kakashi-san? Naruto asked. It is a mixture between ninjutsu and taijutsu, like the Yondaime Reikage, Raiton no Yoroi, which pushes Raiton chakra into his system to make him faster and stronger. Kakashi said. Oh, Naruto replied. The Kinjutsu section was also separated into different styles, but inside the sections was split into different weapons. The Fuinjutsu was separated into different levels: novice, apprentice, journeyman, expert, and master level. The elemental manipulation was separated into the different elements and sub-elements, telling them how to master each element. The chakra manipulation was for chakra control and also how to use chakra in different ways. There was also a few massive scrolls in the back that Naruto couldn't identify, but Itachi recognized the scrolls. Naruto, you must guard those large scrolls because those are summoning scrolls. I don't know how you have that many here, but maybe you can sign all of them. Itachi said. What are summoning scrolls? Naruto asked. The summoning scrolls allow shinobi to summon animals to help in your battles, or tracking like my dog summons, or help with specific shinobi sections like Itachi's crows. Kakashi said. Naruto looked at the weapons on display. There was staffs and blades, chains and axes, and there was armor as well that looked similar to the armor worn by the clans before the making of the shinobi villages. It was red in color and covered every part of the body, even a helmet that looked like a samurai suit. There was also a scroll on a pedestal in the middle of the room. Naruto walked to it and picked it up. He felt another pull on his chakra for a second before it stopped again. He opened the scroll, but found it to be blank. But then an idea hit him, and he activated his Rinnegan. All of a sudden, words appeared on the scroll, and he began to read it. To the Rinnegan wielder. You are the child of prophecy. You are meant to prevent a disaster that I had to face when I lived. You will have to face the Jubi and prevent it from destroying the nations. I have placed all the Rinnegan's techniques I know inside of this scroll, so you can be prepared. I've also placed some personal jutsu for you to use. Here's a riddle for you to figure out. When you do, then we can meet. When the power of all 9 come together, that's when the chosen one meets the creator. I want you to work well with Kurama and the others. You will need them to help you in the future. I pray you will follow the right path to save the shinobi era. Your ancestor, Rikudo Sanin, Akatsuki Hagoromo. He looked at the bottom of the scroll where 2 seals were. He looked at one of them that had the words Rinnegan on it with another that said Sharingan. He looked back up and continued to read. Shinra Tensei creates a barrier of gravity around the user and pushes outwards, destroying anything in its way. Bansho Tenin creates a focus point for the gravity chakra and pulls the target towards the caster. Chibaku Tensei makes a concentrated ball of gravity chakra and releases it to pull Earth together to make a small planet body. Note, this was used to seal away the body of the Jubi after I split its body up into 9 pieces, creating the Bijou. Tengai Shinsei uses gravity chakra to pull meteorites to Earth towards the intended target. Note, uses massive amounts of chakra near Gobi level. Banbutsu Sozo, used to create anything you want to. Note, the bigger or denser the object is the more chakra needed. Can create weapons, scrolls, armor, food, and even people. There are also paths that come with the Rinnegan, which gave me my name, Rikudo Sanin. Tendo, Deva Path grants the user the use of gravity, ninjutsu. Shirato, Azura Path grants the user mechanical weapons, armor, and limbs. Ninjendo, Human path grants the user ability to read a person's mind and also remove a soul from someone's body. Chikashoto. Animal path grants the user the ability to summon any animal that the user can think of. Gakido. Preta path grants the user the ability to absorb chakra from any source, including most ninjutsu. Jigakudo. Naraka path grants the user the ability to summon and control the king of hell for interrogation. There is also a seventh path called Geto, outer path, which allows the user to control life and death, meaning you can bring someone back to life. Note, if used too often, then it will drain all of the user's chakra and kills the caster. Everyone was quiet while Naruto read, but when they saw it was blank, they were confused. Naruto-kun, why are you staring at a blank scroll? Yugao asked. The child turned to the Umbu and showed them his Rinnegan. I can only read it with the Rinnegan active. He said, it's just like the Uchiha tablet. It can only be read by someone with a fully evolved Sharingan. Itachi said to the group. Naruto looked at the scroll again and read the last 2 lines on the scroll. There are 2 seals at the bottom of this scroll that states I use all of my techniques in Rinnegan Jutsu, and also the techniques to the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan to help you. Lastly, because of your Rinnegan, you can sign multiple summoning contracts, and they will work with you like they did with me. Good luck with your destiny, Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto was shocked by his name being in the scroll, but he was confused. His name was Uzumaki Naruto, and the only Namikaze he knew was the Yondaime Hokage, Namikaze Minato. Kakashi, was my father the Yondaime Hokage? Naruto asked seriously. Kakashi's eye widened. How did you know? He asked shocked. This was enough proof for Naruto. Then what was my mother's name? He asked. Kakashi knew that he let it slip with his father and decided to just tell him. He sighed before he spoke. Her name was Uzumaki Kushina. She was Kyuubi's second Jinchuriki. Naruto was shocked that his mother held Kyuubi as well. Kyuchan, did you know this? He asked his tenant. Yes, I did, Naruto-kun, but you know my true name, so use it. Kyuubi said. I do, he asked confused. My true name is Kurama. Oh, Tusan told you in the scroll, she said. Okay, thanks Kurama-chan, or can I call you Kura-chan? He asked innocently. Kurama blushed at his words. He was a child, but he got her blush. She didn't understand it. It's fine, Naruto-kun. You can call me anything you want, she replied. Okay, Kura-chan, he said happily, then thought about something. Kura-chan, do you know what the riddle means? Kurama went silent for a few seconds until she answered, I believe it means that you must somehow gain the power of all 9 of us Bijus, and then you can meet the Rikudo Sannin. Hello, Naruto. Tenzo was waving his hand in front of Naruto's face. Huh, Naruto's genius response. Are you okay? Itachi asked. Yeah, I was just talking to Kyuubi. The child spoke. What did the scrolls say? Yugao asked impatiently. It was from my ancestor, the Rikudo Sannin. Everyone was completely shocked by his words. He was the direct descendant of the Rikudo Sannin, the god of shinobi and creator of the shinobi arts. He explained the techniques of the Rinnegan to me, and also some of the Mangekyo Sharingan techniques. He also said that all of the summoning scrolls here I can sign. Again, they were shocked by this, since it's rare to hear of a person with multiple summoning contracts. He's going to be very strong when he's older. All 4 thought. Naruto walked over to the scrolls and saw that there was 5 of them there. Dragon, tiger, phoenix, fox, and swordfish. Kakashi saw the contracts and were shocked by the animals. What did the dragon, tiger, and phoenix contracts? Those 3 contracts are only myths. They were only used during the beginning of the shinobi era. The Hydra contract? Never heard of it, or the Fox contract? Kakashi asked. I made that contract for the Uzumaki clan a long time ago. I thought it was destroyed. I have not seen my clan in millennia. Kurama said. You have a clan? I thought you were just a bijou that took the form of fox, he said. At first, yes, but then I found a clan of kitsunes, and they accepted me as their leader for my power. I'm still the strongest kitsune there, but there's still a strong clan. She said. Okay, that makes sense. He spoke back. He felt someone shake his arm. Naruto-kun, listen to us, Yugao said in a little of a whining voice. Sorry, Kyubi was just saying that she was the head of the Kitsune clan. He told the Umbu. They were again shocked, since now Naruto could sign the contract and summon the nine-tailed beast. Kakashi came back first. Okay, let's close the door and get to sleep. We'll start training tomorrow, he said, and Naruto went to close the vault door, but not before making a clone in case they can't get out. They took out their futons and set it up. Yugao and Naruto had their futons very close to each other unknowingly. Kakashi took his porn book out to read it, and Itachi and Tenzo were talking among themselves. Yugao sat down and took of her sword and armor, showing off her body to the 8-year-old who blushed at the sight. Kurama was giggling in his mindscape at his thoughts. She could tell that a lot of girls liked him already, and she herself was one of them. The only thing she didn't like was that she was going to have to share him with others. Naruto laid down, and Yugao did as well. She was basically cuddling with him, and he held her. She blushed at their closeness, but relaxed in his grasp. She felt safe when she was near him. He didn't think about it too much, because he was too young to worry about it yet. After that, he fell asleep. Time skip. Next day. Naruto wakes up with Yugao laying right up against him. She was so close to him that he felt her breast push into his side. He blushed at the feel in his side. He made a clone and substituted with it, so he could look at all the scrolls that he now owned. There was one scroll that he wanted to read, which explained the Fuinjutsu section. Most of the Fuinjutsu here comes from the Rakudo Sennin himself. There are also some personal Fuinjutsu from our clan here, and also what was collected from other clans and hidden villages. The levels of Fuinjutsu are separated into 5 sections: novice, apprentice, journeyman, expert, and master level. Novice levels focus mainly on your accuracy with kanji and basic seals like storage seals. Apprentice level focuses on knowledge of seals, breaking down the seals, and identifying each piece of the seal. Journeyman level focus on advanced level of basic seals, advanced storage seals, and also new seals. Expert level focus on seals that can seal away the power of bijus, and also how to mess with a biju seal. Master level can be achieved by knowing most of the seals known to the elemental nations or by making your own seals. True masters can also create seals with just their chakra as a medium. Every level is harder than the first and also more rewarding. There is nothing Fuinjutsu can't achieve. The Uzumaki clan was known for their mastery of Fuinjutsu, as well as Kenjutsu. Keep up the legacy of the Uzumaki clan and become a master of Fuinjutsu. This helped to explain Fuinjutsu to the child. He really wanted to start, but he didn't want it yet. He wanted the help of Kakashi, who had a light understanding of Fuinjutsu. There was one more section he found earlier on, which held everything that the Uzumaki clan knew about every clan's bloodline. He went straight to the Uzumaki section to find out about his clan's bloodline. He opened the scroll and read in his head. The Uzumaki bloodline is one that comes from the Rakudo Sennin. Any Uzumaki has massive chakra reserves that will make a normal Uzumaki Chunin have reserves on par with a normal Kage. An Uzumaki's life is also lengthened. The longest an Uzumaki lived was over 130 years old. Her name was Uzumaki Mito. An Uzumaki's chakra is also more potent than a normal shinobi that it can suppress a biju's yuki. There was one rare case when an Uzumaki's chakra mutated and changed from dark blue to a sky blue, and also formed chains for chakra. Her name was Uzumaki Kushina. Her chakra was the most potent to suppress a biju's yuki. Naruto was shocked by this. His mother was almost the perfect Jinchuriki. She could suppress any biju's power with just her chakra. It was astounding. He stopped when he felt someone behind him. He turned to look and saw Kakashi looking at him worried. "You okay, Naruto?" he asked. "Yeah, I'm just reading some scrolls of my clan bloodline and legacy," he said happily. Kakashi just eye-smiled at him. "Okay, well, we should start our training. Open the door, please," he said to the child. Naruto nodded and went to the door. He pushed some chakra to the door and the seal activated. The door swung open and Naruto saw his clone meditating. The clone opened his eyes and saw his creator. After that, he got up and dispelled himself. Naruto got the memories of his clone. He was studying the seal on the door. It was a blood seal that had a memory seal in it. As soon as someone first used the seal, then after that, no blood was needed to open it. The seal took the chakra out of the blood and then stores it for a later time. There was also an electrocution seal that would shock anyone who's not an Uzumaki trying to get in with 40,000 watts of electricity. There was one more seal, a transparent seal that makes the seals disappear from normal sight. Only a Dojutsu user can see it. Kakashi and Naruto went outside of the tower and looked around. The sun was giving Yuzu a somber atmosphere. It also showed many of the bodies to the young Uzumaki. He was saddened by all the bodies of his clan laying all over the place with the buildings. He shook his head and focused on what he needed. He needed to focus on his training so that he can prevent this from happening to his family again. Kakashi saw the determination on his face and smiled it. It meant that he will focus on the training and won't be distracted. Okay, come Naruto. Let's find us a training ground to start. The masked nin said. The child nodded and walked ahead, activated his Byakugan. There's a clearing about 1 kilometer northwest of us that we can use, he said, shocking the Cyclops. Ow! He then saw the Byakugan in his eyes. Oh, never mind, lead the way, he said while they took to the trees. It took 10 minutes for them to get there. As soon as they arrived, Naruto activated the weight seals and resistance seals on his body. His weight seals focused on a certain part of his body instead of his whole body like the resistance seals do. His weight seals are on level 5, which equals to 50 kilograms each seal. That's a total of 200 kilograms on his 4 limbs. The resistance seals were on level 3, which made him feel like he was running through water that was up to his waist. With all of this, he used them to increase his speed and strength. Normal Chunin would only use the weight seals just to increase their strength in taijutsu. Okay, well, let's start with an all-out spar. Come at me with the intent to. Kakashi tried to finish, but Naruto did for him. Intent to kill. I know Kakashi. Naruto jumped at him, trying to punch him. Kakashi rolled to the side and kicked Naruto in the back. The child was knocked away from the umbu and corrected himself in the air. Kakashi started to wave hand signs and called out Kitan, Gakakyu. He blew out a huge fireball at the teen who made his own seals. Suedun, Suijin Hiki. Naruto used the water from the stream nearby to make a water wall. The wall blocked the fireball and created a mist in the air. Naruto went through some more seals and called Suedun, Mizurappa. He blew a wave of water out of his mouth, trying to catch the umbu off guard. Kakashi went underground using Doton, Mogurugakure no Jutsu. He was trying to surprise the child. The mist cleared and Naruto saw nothing. The masked man was gone, but he could still sense him nearby. Where is he? Left, right, up, behind, no. Then he has to be. Below, he heard Kakashi. 2 hands grabbed his legs. Doton, Shinju Zanshu no Jutsu. He was pulled under the earth and Kakashi got out. He was up to his neck under the earth. Kakashi just chuckled at his state. Well, looks like you're done now, he said. Naruto's eyes mutated into the Rinnegan before he spoke. Not yet. I've still got one thing I can do. He pushed chakra to his eye and then, as if on instinct, spoke in a monotone voice, Shinra Tensei. The next thing Kakashi knew, an invisible force made a crater around Naruto and freed him while also throwing him away. He was shocked at this. Naruto jumped out of the hole and punched Kakashi before he could snap back to reality. He was pushed away from the child, then felt an invisible force pull him back to Naruto. Bansho Tenin, he heard and flew at neck-breaking speed. Naruto grabbed him and then snapped back to reality. What happened? He asked the masked nin. I think you used your Rinnegan techniques. I'm not sure, the Cyclops said. Naruto was shocked, needed to make sure. Did I say anything when I did it? He asked. I think you said Shinra Tensei or something like that, Kakashi said. Now he knew he used one of his gravity ninjutsu, but something bugged him. If I used Shinra Tensei, how are you in front of me with my hand on your armor? He asked. It was another gravity jutsu. I think it was called Bansho Tenin, the Yambiyu said again. Naruto was again shocked that he used 2 gravity techniques after each other. The child wanted to try it again, so he jumped back and lifted his arms up. His eyes mutated into the legendary Dojutsu again. Kakashi-san, stay there. I'm going to try it again. The masked Nin nodded his head and stayed back. Naruto pushed more chakra into his eyes and whispered Shinra Tensei. The after effect shocked the boy. A light black sphere appeared around him and started to expand and destroyed anything in its path, making a perfect circle crater around the child. Kakashi decided to speak. I think that you can make it stronger or weaker if you use more or less chakra. Naruto had an idea. Hey Kakashi-san, can you please use the fireball technique on me please? He asked. The masked Nin wasn't sure about doing that, but will trust the child and nodded. He did the hand signs and called Katan. Kakakyu, he shot out the fireball from his mouth toward the child. Naruto saw the ball of fire heading his way and lifted his arm towards it and whispered Shinra Tensei. He started to smile when he saw that it worked. Kakashi was shocked by the sight. The fireball was reduced to sparks like fireflies. This showed that the jutsu had offensive and defensive capabilities. That was amazing. Naruto/Kuin. Naruto heard two voices shout. He looked behind him and saw Tenzo, Itachi, and Yugao, who was shocked at what they saw. He reduced the fireball to nothing. It was as if he controlled it and made it dispel. Morning, Yugao-chan. Tenzo, Itachi. When did you get here? The child asked. Just now, Naruto-kun. That technique of yours is amazing, Yugao said to the child. He blushed at the praise from the purple-haired Umbu. He looked at Tenzo and saw a large scroll on his back. Tenzo-san, what's on your back? He asked. This is your dragon summoning contract. We thought you should sign it and meet the head of the dragon clan, the wood user said to the child. The child looked at the contract and nodded his head. He took the scroll from Tenzo and opened it. There was only one name in the scroll. Akatsuki Hagoromo. His ancestor was the only one to use the contract, and now, so was he. He cut his thumb and wrote his name down in the contract, then made a handprint with his fingers. His name glowed for a bit, and then his name turned black. He stood up and rolled the scroll up. Okay, Naruto, make these hand signs and put as much chakra into the technique as you can. Kakashi said, excitement in his voice to see the summons of legends. He showed the 5 seals for summoning, and Naruto memorized it. Naruto did the signs and pushed a massive amount of chakra while shouting Kuchios no Jutsu. A massive plume of smoke appeared, and when it cleared, the Umbu guards were shocked. In front of them was a dragon that was the size of 2 cubes in her fox form. It had silver-colored scales and wings the width of the Hokage monument. Who has summoned me? The dragon shouted, its voice deep and powerful. I have Ryu-sama. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, descendant of the Rakuto Sannin, and I want to be your new summoner. The child said, not afraid of the dragon. Naruto-kun, be careful. This is not just the dragon boss, but he is also a god. Kurama said. Before Naruto could reply, he saw the dragon look at him with silver-slitted eyes. The god lowered his head until it was near to the child. Is that so? My name is Ryujin, and I am the head of the dragon clan, as well as a god. He said, shocking to Yanbiyu, but Naruto just looked at the dragon god. The dragon took a good look at the child and saw something that was missing for millennia. Young child, where did you get those 2 blades? The god asked seriously. Naruto looked on his back and saw the sword he used. I found it at a shop and bought it, and this dagger, Ryujin-sama. I felt them calling to me and telling me to get them. He told the god. Was I not supposed to Ryujin-sama? He asked nervously. Those blades are meant to be wielded by our summoner. It allows them to use some of our techniques, and also is meant to be used with the Ryu Sennin mode. The dragon said. Ryu Sennin mode? He asked. We will talk about that if you pass the test. The god said, confusing Naruto. What test, Ryujin-sama? The child asked. You must first pass my test before you can continue to summon the dragon clan. I will look into your soul and see if it is pure, the god said. The dragon's eyes glowed silver while he looked at Naruto, and Naruto's eyes turned silver as well. The two just stared at each other for a minute until the dragon raised its head. What the hell are wrong with those humans that they attack this child for no reason? He shouted out, scaring the Umbu. The dragon lowered its head again. Why do you still want to protect those people? He asked, very curious. I want to create peace throughout the elemental nations, and if I can't get Konoha to lose their hatred for me, then my dream has no chance for succeeding. Mine and the Rakuto Senin's dream, the child said with determination. Okay, young one. I'll give you the same rights I gave Hagoromo. We'll train you in our abilities and also allow you to summon my clan. I also will allow you to summon me if you have to battle a bijou or a demon, he said to the child. Once again, the Umbu were shocked. Naruto had somehow gotten a god to help him. Chapter 5, Return and Powers Revealed. Time skip, 7 years later. Kanagakur no Sato hadn't changed much since the blonde ball had left. It was getting boring without him and his pranks. It was especially boring of the Eternal Gate Guardians Hagane Kotetsu and Kamizuki Izumo. They were Chunin for a long time, and also since being Chunin, they have always guarding the gates into Konoha. This is so boring. Why do we never get the good parts? Kotetsu asked. Hey Kotetsu, it's an honor to guard the gates of Konoha, because we're the first line of defense, Izumo said. Before he continued, they saw 4 figures coming towards the gate. It was 3 in Umbu clothing with Umbu masks on, and 1 person in armor like a samurai. It was red in color with a swirl on the front. The person in the armor was 5 feet 6 inches. He looked to be about 15 years old. He had fingerless gloves with metal plate on with a swirl sign on as well. He had on blue shinobi sandals. When they arrived at the gate, the Umbu turned towards the Chunin and showed their ID. The teen just looked at the village. When the Umbu signed and the 4 people jumped to the roof and started a roof hop towards the Hokage Tower. So Naruto, how's it feel to be back in Konoha? The Inu masked Umbu asked. It feels the same, Kakashi. Nothing has changed since we left here. I just hope that they will see me for me and not Kurama-chan, the teen said. The Umbu was now scared, thinking of what will happen to the mobs if they attack Naruto. He was strong enough to take on all 3 of them at the same time in their spars now. Even Itachi didn't stand a chance anymore. They arrived outside the Kage Tower and walked in and saw the receptionist by her desk. Kakashi went to her and said, "Hi, we need to see Hokage-sama immediately." The secretary just looked up to see the Umbu mask and said, "He free Umbu-san, you can go now." Kakashi nodded his thanks and led the group to the door. He knocked twice and waited until he heard "come in." They entered the office and saw the Sandaime Hokage busy with paperwork like he always is. When the old Kage saw Naruto, he was shocked. He didn't believe his eyes. He was a mini Minato, but was dressed in armor similar to what his former senseis were in. "Welcome back, Naruto," the Kage said happily. The teen walked to the old man and hugged him. "Thanks, G-san. I missed you in Konoha," he said. The Hokage smiled at the teen's words. He was curious now to find out how strong the child was, so he wanted to ask. "So Naruto-kun, how strong are you?" the Kage asked. Naruto just smiled. "I can take on your 3 best Umbu at the same time now, G-san," he said while smiling. The old man didn't believe it. "Come on, Naruto-kun, don't lie to me," he said, thinking that the child was lying to him. "Hokage-sama, he's not lying at all. He can take us and Itachi on at the same time and still win now," Yugao said with Tenzo and Kakashi nodding. The Kage's jaw dropped. A 15-year-old teen could take on his best and still win. Naruto laughed at the sight of his grandfather figure with his jaw on the floor. But then he remembered. "G-san, you can ask them about my new skills later, but right now I need to get to the academy to pass the Genin exams," he told the Kage. The Kage nodded and wrote a note in a scroll and passed it to Naruto. Then he spoke, "Give this to Irika, and he'll allow you to enter the exam." "Thanks, G-san," the teen said and turned to his Umbu guards. "See you later, guys. Bye, Yugao-chan." He walked towards her and hugged her. "See you, Naruto-kun. We'll talk later," Yugao said. The Kage was shocked by what he saw. He was making the female Umbu cheat on her boyfriend and noted to ask about it later. The child left the office. The Kage turned to Yugao. "I didn't know you liked Naruto-kun. I thought you were dating Hei?" he asked. Yugao was blushing up a storm with what the Kage said. "It's not like that, Hokage-sama. I still like Hayate-kun, but Naruto-kun got into my heart," she said in a full-body blush. The others just laughed at how flustered she was. It made the Kage think, what is she hiding? "Okay, well, Naruto-kun will need to have multiple wives in the future," he said, hoping to get a rise out of her. Yugao was shocked. Why Hokage-sama? The council will make me enact the Clan Restoration Act on him, he said seriously. Yugao felt a ping of jealousy inside of her and didn't know why. Okay, so tell me about his strength. I need to know what level to place him, the Kage said. Yes, sir. His taijutsu styles have all been mastered, and also he started to combine them together. I'll put him at mid-umbu level. All he really needs is more experience. His jinjutsu is high jonin. He might even be immune to all jinjutsu because of his senses and kyubi. He can still sense us even in a jinjutsu. His ninjutsu is beyond Kage level. He can use every element including sub-elements and knows jutsu for all of them. He is a Fuinjutsu master by the Uzumaki clan standards and also is a master with a sword. He's on par with Tsunade-sama with medical ninjutsu. His chakra control is perfect, but he must continue to train it to stay there because his chakra capacity keeps on increasing and he has more chakra than all the Kages put together. The old man's mouth was on the floor and his eyes were popped out of its sockets. This child was so strong now. It was almost unbelievable. The three Umbu were smiling and giggling at their leader's expression. Okay, start from the beginning and fill me in on everything, the Kage said, getting ready for the full report. Konoha Academy. The new graduation class is ready for their exam, and this class is promised to have the highest graduation rate. All of the clan's children were in here, and all knew what was needed. Aburame Shino was the heir of the bug-wielding clan. He was 5'2". He had fair skin and was the tallest of this class. He had dark brown hair and dark eyes. He had on a pair of glasses over his eyes. He had a sea green jacket with a high collar and black shinobi pants with blue shinobi sandals. Akimichi Chuji was from the Akimichi clan that could double their size and use their weight in battle. The teen was 4'11". He had spiky brown hair and swirl marks on his cheeks. He had a short light green shirt and white shirt with his clan symbol on underneath. He also had a black shorts with a long white scarf, hoop earrings, and his forearms and legs wrapped in bandages. Haruno Sakura was from a civilian family, and her mother was on the civilian council. She was also a Sasuke fangirl. She was 4'10". She wore a red dress with a black shinobi pants and blue shinobi sandals. She had long pink hair. Hyuga Hinata was from the noble Dojutsu clan, but was very shy. She was 4'10". She had shoulder-length, dark blue hair, and tan fair skin. She had the white eyes of the Byakugan. She wore a cream-colored hooded jacket with the Hyuga fire symbol on the shoulder with fur around the cuffs and navy blue pants. Inazuka Kiba was the heir of the Inazuka clan that used dogs as partners in fights. He was 5'0". He had messy brown hair, sharp black eyes, and slit pupils. His teeth was sharper than normal and had red fang marks on his cheeks. He wore a gray hooded fur coat with a grayish pants with blue shinobi sandals. He also had a white puppy named Akamaru. Kurama Yakumo was from the Kurama clan who were known for their Jinjutsu bloodline, making their Jinjutsu more powerful than normal. She was 4'12". She had light brown eyes. Her hair was straight on one side and braided on the other side. She wears a pink kimono held with a pink sash and has 2 pockets in the front, while under it was a violet baggy pants and red mesh armor and orange sandals. Nara Shikamaru was the heir of the shadow-using clan. He was also a lazy genius. He was 4'11". He has black hair tied in a pineapple way. He wore a green mesh t-shirt and gray short-sleeved jacket with green edges. He also wore brown pants and blue sandals. So I was an orphan who didn't know his parents' names. He was secretly part of the root Umbu under Shimura Danzo. He was supposed to watch the Uchiha twins for the elder. He was 5'1" and wore a black shirt that stops just before his stomach, and also black shinobi pants and black sandals with a tanto on his back. Uchiha Sasuke was from the Copy clan that uses their eyes to follow and copy the opponent's moves. He was 4'11". He had black hair and black eyes since he didn't activate the Sharingan yet. He wore a short-sleeved blue shirt with a high collar and the Uchiha symbol on it and a white shorts. He also had blue shinobi sandals. Uchiha Satsuki was the twin sister of Sasuke and also hadn't unlocked the Sharingan yet. She was 4'10". She had black eyes and long black blue hair. She wore a black short-sleeve shirt with the Uchiha clan symbol on and black skin-tight shinobi pants with black shinobi sandals. She didn't really like her brother for his attitude. Yamanaka Ino was from the mind-reading clan and also were censors. She was also a Sasuke fangirl. She was 4 foot 11 inches. She had blue eyes and pale blonde long hair and ponytail. She had purple top like a bikini top with bandages wrapped around her stomach. She also had a short purple skirt and again wrapping her thighs in bandages. The rest of the people were from civilian families and Sasuke fangirls. The class quieted down when they saw their senseis walk into the room. It was 2 people dressed in standard Chunin attire with Konoha Hitayade on their head. Good morning, class. I hope you are ready for the exam. Let's SD. Yumino Irika was interrupted by a knock on the door. He opened it and saw a child in Umbu-style clothing including the chest plate and forearm armor. Is this the academy class of Yumino Irika? The teen asked. Yes, it is Uzumaki-san. How can I help? The Chunin asked. Hokage-sama asked me to hand over this scroll to you. The teen held the scroll out with the Hokage seal onto Irika. The Chunin took it and opened it up. Chunin Yumino Irika. I want you to allow Uzumaki Naruto to take the Genin exam. He was out on a 7-year training trip with some Umbu, so I know he will pass the test. Sandame Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen. The Chunin looked at the teen and said, Come in, Naruto, and take a seat in between Sasuke and Hinata. Naruto nodded and entered. When Sasuke and Hinata saw who it was, they were happy and nervous. They hadn't seen Naruto in 7 years, and he changed a lot to them. Naruto looked at his old friends and smiled at them. There were a few things he missed in Konoha, and one of them was his friends. He was really good friends with the 2 Dojutsu users. He walked towards a seat and sat down in between the 2 girls. They both greeted him at the same time. Welcome back, Naruto-kun. Naruto smiled at the girls and said, Thank you, girls. I missed you too while I was gone. Where did you go, Naruto-kun? Satsuki asked. I was given a 1-hour notice until I had to leave Konoha. I went to my clan's home village, Yuzushigakure no Sato. Naruto said. Hinata was confused. I've never heard of that place, Naruto-kun. Is it a new village? She asked quietly, instantly regretting it. Naruto had a sad look on his face. My clan is gone. The girl's eye widened. My clan was wiped out during the Second Great Shinobi War by an Iwakirikumo alliance. We were well known for our Fuinjutsu and Kinjutsu. We also had massive chakra reserves and we live longer than normal. He said sadly. And sorry to hear about your clan, Satsuki-chan. I couldn't get a message to you, or Sasuke, or Makoto-chan. Naruto spoke to the Uchiha. The Uchiha girl smiled and hugged him lightly. Thank you, Naruto-kun. At least I'm not the only one left. My mom is the only adult, though. Naruto cringed when he remembered what he did that night to the Uchihas. How did Sasuke take it? Naruto asked. My brother is an egotistical ass who thinks that it is an honor to train him. He also thinks that he can get anything he wants just because he's an Uchiha. Satsuki said. Hinata nodded, seeing Sasuke act like that in the academy. Naruto just shook his head. If that was true, then he should have a world since he was an Uchiha, Senju, and Hyuga, as well as an Uzumaki. Well, at least I know what to expect now, Naruto said. So Naruto-kun, how strong are you now? Hinata asked. Naruto smiled at her. I can take on most of our jonin now after my training, he said. The 2 girls thought he was joking. Come on, Naruto-kun, be serious, Satsuki said. Naruto looked at her and said, I am serious, Satsuki-chan. Why doesn't anyone believe me when I tell them the truth? My training was under 3 of the strongest Umbu and some jonin, including your father Hinata-chan and Jiraiya of the Sannin. The girls were shocked by that. He was trained by so much people high up in Konoha. Okay, everyone, let's start the Genin exam. Mizuki-sensei and I will hand out the written exam part, and after that one we will go outside for the throwing and taijutsu section. And also we will do the ninjutsu section there, Irika said, and the 2 senseis started. They don't know I'm under a hinge right now, Naruto thought, and was smiling at hiding his abilities. When Mizuki gave him his exam, he saw that his exam was not a Genin exam, but an Umbu exam, but instantly figured out the problem. Jinjutsu. Naruto just shook his head. Irika-sensei, can you please come here? Naruto asked. What's the problem, Naruto? The teacher asked, not moving. Sensei, was I given an extra test? He asked. No what? Irika was confused. Because my exam was meant for an Umbu trainee. Come see for yourself. Irika went to Naruto and saw the teen was right. He didn't understand it. Mizuki-sensei has placed a Jinjutsu on my exam. Look, Kai. He pushed chakra to the page and canceled the Jinjutsu. Once the Jinjutsu was lifted, he started to fill in the questions, and Irika went back to his desk with a glance at Mizuki, who looked angry at being found out. Naruto completed the test in 5 minutes and just puts his head down like a certain Nara. Naruto, are you done yet? Irika asked. Naruto just nodded his head and put it down again. Irika went to his desk and took his page. The teacher marked his page and found that he got a perfect score. He was shocked. 5 minutes after Naruto, Shikamaru was finished. After 50 more minutes, the class was done. The teachers collected the exam and lead the group to the practice area outside. Okay, everyone, we'll start with weapon accuracy. So let's go to the throwing range for kunai and shuriken throwing. Irika said. The people lined up and waited for the explanation. Okay, there are 5 kunai and 5 shuriken here, and what you must do is throw it at these 2 targets. Try to hit the vital points. For each vital point you hit, you get a point with a total of 10. First up, Aburame Shino. Irika called him. Shino, Shikamaru, and Ino got 6 out of 10. Sai, Kiba, Chuji, and Hinata got 7 out of 10. Satsuki, Yakumo, and Sakura got 8 out of 10. Sasuke got 9 out of 10. Now it was Naruto's turn. Uzumaki, Naruto, come up. Irika called. When Naruto went to the range, he heard Sasuke say, good luck, dope, with a smirk. Naruto did nothing and took the kunai on the table. He instantly noticed the 5 kunai and 5 shuriken were blunt and off balance. Irika-sensei, my weapons are sabotaged, he said. The Chunin looked at them and saw what he meant. Okay, Naruto here. He held out 5 kunai and shuriken for him, but Naruto stopped him. No need, Irika-sensei, watch. He added futon chakra to the weapons and threw them at once. What happened shocked them all. All 10 of the weapons hit the target and went right through them, landing in the wall rather deeply. How did you do that? Irika asked. Naruto just smiled and pulled one of his kunai out while pushing more futon chakra to the blade. Everyone saw the blade take a green-blue hue and the blade lengthen. All I did was push some futon chakra to the weapons to make up for the blunt tips. It also stops it from going off balance. The teens said. He cheated, Sakura shouted. All the Sasuke fangirls shouted their agreements. They're right, Irika. He used chakra in a weapon exam. It's breaking the rules. Mizuki said to his partner. No, it's not. He told us the weapons were sabotaged and used futon chakra to correct your mistakes, so he'll allow it with a perfect score. Irika said. You can't do that, Sakura shouted. I can so shut up, Irika said, using his demonic head jutsu. The whole class was silent. He only used that when he was angry or when he wanted the class to shut up. It really scared the students when his head becomes massive. Naruto wasn't bothered by the head. He had a real demon inside of him, so this was nothing. Hey, Naruto-kun, that's not nice. He could feel the female Kitsune pout in his mind. He chuckled at her childish behavior. I didn't mean it like that, Kurama-chan. I don't think of you as a demon, the teen said to Kurama. Just when the Chunin was about to begin the taijutsu test, Naruto turned to him and said, Irika-sensei, can you please give me the kunai and shuriken you offered me earlier? The others won't let it go until I do it fairly. The Chunin teacher nodded and gave the child the weapons, and Naruto threw them again with one hand, and all 10 weapons landed dead center on the targets. If the target was a person, he would be dead 10 times over. The entire class was silent, having no foot to argue with now to prevent him from getting a perfect score. Well done, Naruto. That is a perfect 10 out of 10. Okay, now let's begin the taijutsu section. Can Aburame Shino and Akimichi Chuji come to the ring? Shino and Chuji fought, and Chuji won. Sakura and Hinata also fought, and Sakura was humiliated in the battle. Kiba and Shikamaru fought, and Kiba beat him since Shikamaru wasn't a taijutsu person. Yakumo and Ino was the final Kanochi group and was a tie. The two girls weren't meant to be taijutsu users. Sai and Satsuki was the next match and fought, and Satsuki won. But Sai and Satsuki were both holding back. Okay, well done. Now Sasuke and Naruto come to the ring. Iruka said. Sasuke walked to the ring with an arrogance air around him. Naruto just walked there and took a stance. Begin, Iruka stepped out the ring. Naruto stood there and Sasuke spoke arrogantly. You should just give up, dope. You don't stand a chance against an Uchiha elite, he said. Naruto said nothing but disappeared from everyone's sight, causing everyone's eyes to widen and punched Sasuke in the back. The Uchiha rolled, but got to his feet just before going out the circle. The whole class was shocked. This was the first time Sasuke was losing in taijutsu. Not even his sister could beat him. Sasuke was pissed. This no-name loser was humiliating him. He wouldn't stand for it. Sasuke rushed him, trying to get him surprised with a fist to his face. Naruto caught the fist and threw him over his shoulder. Sasuke landed out the ring and lost. Stop. Naruto wins, Iruka said. Sasuke didn't believe it and started going through hand signs and called Katan, Gakkaku no Jutsu. He shot out a medium-sized fireball at Naruto. Iruka was about to tell Naruto to get out the way until he heard Naruto say Suiten, Sujinhiki. A wall of water appeared in front of Naruto, stopping the fireball, making a steam cloud. Then the crowd heard another jutsu being called. Doton, Sinku Sansu no Jutsu. When the smoke cleared, everyone saw Naruto, standing, and only saw Sasuke's head on the floor. You killed him, Sakura and the fangirl shouted, except for Ino, who remembered Naruto when they were younger and how good friends they were. He's not dead, Naruto said. He is buried from the neck down. Let me out of here, dope, Sasuke shouted. Naruto just shook his head, he channeled chakra, and stomped on the ground. Doton. Kai. The ground around Sasuke cracked and spit apart. Sasuke climbed out, and the ground closed after he got out. Naruto went to the class and stood at the back. The whole class was shocked at this person's abilities. Iruka was just about to call for the ninjutsu section when the Sandaime Hokage appeared. The class was scared now that the Sandaime Hokage came to their graduation exam. They thought something was wrong. Hokage-sama, is there a problem? Iruka asked, a little nervous. I want to change the ninjutsu portion of the exam a little. I wanted to see it, and also want to test their affinities. They also get a chance to show off any other jutsu for extras, the Kage said while looking at Naruto. The team knew that the Kage saw his fight with Sasuke and wanted to tell him to calm down. The teacher nodded confusingly. They don't check affinities, since it was their Jonin sensei's job. Okay, then Aburame Shino, come up for your ninjutsu exam, Iruka called. Shino did the Academy Ninjutsu and did Mushi Bunshin no Jutsu as an extra. His affinity test showed he had a major earth and minor water affinity. Chuji also did the Academy Ninjutsu and the Baika no Jutsu to enlarge his body. His affinity was earth. Sakura also only did the Academy Ninjutsu, and her affinity was earth. Hinata just did the Academy Ninjutsu, and her affinity was water. Kiba did the Academy and then did the Tsuga on a training dummy, destroying it. His affinity was major fire and minor wind. Yakumo only did the Academy Ninjutsu and has a major fire affinity and minor lightning. Shikamaru did the 3 Academy, and Kage made no jutsu on Iruka and made him dance. His chakra affinity was major fire and minor wind. Sai did the Academy Jutsu and his Chuju Giga of a tiger. His affinity was major fire. Sasuke and Satsuki both did the Academy and also did the Katan, Gakkaku no Jutsu on a target dummy, burning it to the ground. Sasuke's affinity was major lightning and minor fire, while Satsuki's is major fire with 2 minors being water and lightning. Ino did the Academy Jutsu and the Shintenshin no Jutsu on Mizuki and took control of his body. Her affinity was major water. Okay, Naruto, your turn. Naruto stood in front of class and looked at the Kage. May I show them Hokage-sama? Naruto asked seriously. The class was confused. Show them what Naruto-kun, the leader asked. Naruto used umbu hand signs to communicate with the Kage. Can I show them all of my elements? The leader thought he meant only the main elements, so he nodded. Naruto hinged into Iruka, and then replaced with Mizuki, shocking the teacher. Only someone with perfect chakra control and bigger reserves than the target can replace with another person. After that, Naruto unsealed his chakra to use its full strength. Naruto made the ram sign and called Bunshin no Jutsu. A clone phased next to the teen. Then when everyone thought he was done, he made a cross hand sign and called another. Gakebunsin no Jutsu. A clone puffed into place on the other side of Naruto. Then the clone and Naruto went through more hand signs and called at the same time. Katan, Hai Bunshin no Jutsu / Sueton. Mizu Bunshin no Jutsu. Two more clones appeared around Naruto. Fire spun around and came together in a clone, while water came from the air and became a body. Naruto and the shadow clone went through more signs and called again at the same time. Futon, Kaze Bunshin no Jutsu / Raiden. Kaminari Bunshin no Jutsu. Two more clones appeared. A small tornado appeared around a point and formed another clone. Lightning sparks shot out of the ground and created a clone. All the clones, except the shadow clone, went into a line. Everyone thought he was done until they went through more signs again, calling Doton. Suki Bunshin no Jutsu / Yuton. Kazangan Bunshin no Jutsu. A piece of earth shot out of the ground and formed another clone. Lava came from the ground and formed another clone. Everyone was shocked at the clones being made, but Naruto was nowhere near done. He called out again, Hayatan. Kori Bunshin no Jutsu / Mokatan. Moku Bunshin no Jutsu. Water and wind came together, forming ice in a body form, making a clone, which shot out of Naruto's body to form a clone. The clones joined the rest of them. Naruto made more Rantan. Arisher Bunshin no Jutsu / Futon. Futo Bunshin no Jutsu. Wind, lightning, and water came together, forming a clone, and steam came together in a body. They joined the others. Naruto made more. Jintan, Chiri Bunshin no Jutsu / Bakutan. Bakahatsu Bunshin no Jutsu. A small white core appeared in the middle and pulled dust out of the air, forming a clone. Earth and fire came together into one place, forming a clone. Those joined the rest. The people present were wondering how much more he had until he was done, but Naruto was far from done. Shikutten, Shikanetsu Bunshin no Jutsu / Jiten. Jurioka Bunshin no Jutsu. Flame balls came and took the form of a clone. Metal sand came together as well and formed a body. The two new clones came together and went to the others. How much more clones do you have left? The Hokage shouted. Just 6 more, Hokage-sama. The people were shocked. Naruto and the shadow clone went through more seals. Shodan, Suisho Bunshin no Jutsu / Meitan. Meion Bunshin no Jutsu. Crystals formed out of the ground and made a body clone. Naruto's shadow stretched out and shot out in a shape of Naruto's body. They went to the others while Naruto and the shadow clone went through more. Kotan, Hagane Bunshin no Jutsu / Jintan. Jinsuke Bunshin no Jutsu. Liquid steel came out the ground and formed a body, then hardened, then changed color. A blur came and made another clone from speed. They joined the other clones. Jurioka Bunshin no Jutsu / Suna Bunshin no Jutsu. Gravity came together and formed a clone. Sand came out of the ground and formed another clone. All the clones and Naruto came together, and then one turned to the spectators and warned them. Guys, be careful. I'm going to show you all a technique for each element. They can be very strong, so stay back and hold on to something. They started to go through hand signs so fast only the Hokage can slightly see it. Everyone listened to him and quickly grabbed a hold of something, but then everyone noticed something. Naruto and the clone's eyes were all different colors. All of the Naruto's, except for one, had their entire eyes covered in a color. Katan, Goryuka / Sueton. Suryuden / Doton. Doryuden / Raiten. Byakurai / Futon. Kamikaze / Hayatan. Kakuria Bufusetsu / Yuton. Shakagariyugan / Mokutan. Makusat Shirbari / Rantan. Ryankaha slash Futton, Kumu slash Jintan, Genkai Hakuri slash Bakutan, Jiraken slash Shikutan, Kajisatsu slash Jitan, Hagain Dama slash Shodan, Amawatari slash Meitan, Jajimento slash Kotan, Yoko Sepeiku slash Jintan, Kage Sudaraiki slash Shinra Tensei slash Suna no Hyo slash Inten, Kagetsuchi. All the Narutos shouted, casting their techniques. The first clone breathed out a massive fire dragon that was dark red. The second clone made a dragon of water out of thin air and shot it in the air. The third clone turned the ground into an earth dragon that crashed into the ground further ahead. The fourth clone shot a white lightning bolt towards a target, destroying it. The fifth clone made a powerful whirlwind. The sixth clone made a black dragon made of ice and shot it into the air. The seventh clone shot balls of molten lava out its mouth. The eighth clone's arm turned into wood and flew towards the target dummy, binding him. The ninth clone made a cloud, which shot out lightning in a wave. The 10th clone blew out a steam cloud blocking the view and heat. The 11th clone made a cube in its hand and shot it out and destroyed everything in its way by destroying the atoms in it. The 12th clone hit the ground with its fist and caused the ground to explode. The 13th clone made a ball of dark red fire that it threw, dehydrating the earth and plant life in the area. The 14th clone had iron sand form of bullets and shot toward another target, making holes in it. The 15th slammed its hand onto the ground, causing crystal spikes to form and made a field of spikes. The 16th clone held his hand out and shot blue spiritual flames out to a target, destroying it with pure chakra. The 17th clone put his palm on the ground, and liquid steel came out of the ground, then hardened into hard steel spikes. The 18th clone disappeared and reappeared with his fist in the ground, destroying a section of the earth. The 19th clone put his arms up and made a sphere of gravity chakra, shooting it out, making a crater in the ground. The 20th clone had sand circle him and shot into the air, then it fell and made holes in another target. The real Naruto opened his eyes and showed to the Mangekyo Sharingan, making the black flames on a kunai. He took out, then slashed at the target, launching a black blade to fly towards its target, burning it to ashes. After that, the clones all disappeared with a mental order. Everyone was shocked by what they saw. A child used every element there is. It should be impossible, yet he did. "Hey, are you done now, Naruto?" Irika asked. "Must I show more? I have a lot of surprises," the teen said, and was about to do more, but was stopped by the Hokage. "Naruto, that's enough," the Kage said strictly. Naruto looked at him and saw worry hidden in his eyes. Naruto nodded and went to the table that held a chakra paper and picked one up. He channeled chakra into it, and everyone saw that he had all of them. The paper levitated and split into 5 pieces. The middle one ignited in white flames and burned to dust. The one on the left side of it got drenched and fell away. The leftmost one turned into dust and flew away. The rightmost one crumbled into a tiny ball with lightning sparks shooting out of it. The one on the left of it got torn into 1,000,000 pieces and flew away. The academy students and teachers were too shocked to speak, and the Kage went to the table to pick up a Hitayate and handed it to Naruto. "Well done, Naruto. You passed the Genin exam. Come here tomorrow for team placements," the Kage said with a smile. The teen nodded and disappeared with the Hitayate. Then the leader turned to the others. "Okay, everyone, the exam is complete. Everyone that passed must come here tomorrow for the team placements, while the rest come next year for a retest," he said, and then left the class. Everyone present didn't move a muscle, still shocked by the display that Naruto gave them. "Okay, class dismissed. All who pass be here tomorrow at 8 a.m., Irika said, sending the kids off. Naruto's home. Naruto walks into the place he hadn't been in for 7 years. His home was dusty as hell and smelled weird. He even saw mold in some areas. "Man, I need to clean up quickly," Naruto thought. He started to mold chakra and said in his head, "Kage Bunshin no Jutsu." He made 10 clones that began to clean the house up. Naruto looked at the seal on his arm to look at his collection. When he left Yuzu, he sealed everything that he found into a scroll that he sealed into his arm by a chakra seal. Only his chakra signature can open the seal and release his clan's knowledge. While he was cleaning, he felt a chakra source, approaching his house. Then there was a knock on the door. Naruto opened it and found an Umbu there. Uzumaki-san, Hokage-sama wants to see you in the tower now. The Umbu told the teen. Okay, I'll be there momentarily, Umbu-san. Naruto said, and the Umbu disappeared. Naruto looked at his clones and left the house to meet the leader. End of chapter. Translations. Hinge, transformation. Futon, wind chakra. Katon, Gakaki no Jutsu, fire style, grand fireball technique. Suidun, Suijin Hiki, water style, water encampment wall. Doton, Shinju Zanshu no Jutsu, earth style, double decapitation technique. Doton, Kai, earth style, release. Bunsin no Jutsu clone technique. Kake Bunsin no Jutsu Sado clone technique. Katan, Hai Bunshin no Jutsu, fire style, fire clone technique. Suitan, Mizu Bunshin no Jutsu, water style, water clone technique. Futon, Kaze Bunshin no Jutsu, wind style, wind clone technique. Right-un, Kaminari Bunshin no Jutsu, lightning style, lightning clone technique. Doton, Suki Bunshin no Jutsu, earth style, earth clone technique. Yutun, Kazangan Bunshin no Jutsu, lava style, lava clone technique. Hayaton, Kori Bunshin no Jutsu, ice style, ice clone technique. Mokuton, Moku Bunshin no Jutsu, wood style, wood clone technique. Rantun, Erishur Bunshin no Jutsu, storm style, storm clone technique. Futton, Futo Bunshin no Jutsu, boil style, boil clone technique. Jintun, Chiri Bunshin no Jutsu, dust style, dust clone. Bakutun, Bakahatsu Bunshin no Jutsu, explosive style, explosive clone technique. Shikuten, Shikanetsu Bunshin no Jutsu, scorch style, scorch clone technique. Jiten, Jurioka Bunshin no Jutsu, magnetism style, magnetic clone technique. Shodan, Suisho Bunshin no Jutsu, crystal style, crystal clone technique. Meitan, Maon Bunshin no Jutsu, darkness style, darkness clone technique. Koton, Hagame Bunshin no Jutsu, steel style, steel clone technique. Jintun, Jinsaka Bunshin no Jutsu, swift style, swift clone technique. Kuryoku Bunshin no Jutsu, gravity clone technique. Suna Bunshin no Jutsu, sand clone technique. Katan, Goryoka, fire style, great dragon flame. Suitun, Suryuden, water style, water dragon bullet. Doton, Doryuden, earth style, earth dragon bullet. Raitun, Byakurai, lightning style, pale lightning. Futon, Kamikaze, wind style, divine wind. Hayaton, Kakuryu, Bufusetsu, ice style, black dragon blizzard. Yutun, Shakagari Ugin, lava style, burning stream rocks. Mokutan, Makusat Shirbari, wood style, smothering binding technique. Rantun, Ryankaha, storm style, lightning cloud wave. Futton, Kamu boil style, skilled fog. Janton, Jonke Akuri, dust style, atomique, dismantling technique. Bakutun, Jiraken, explosive style, landmine fist. Shikuten, Kaju Satsu, scorch style, extreme steam killing. Jiten, Hagane Dama, magnetic style, iron sand bullets. Shodhun, Amawatari, crystal style, the gods meeting. Meitun, Judgmento, darkness style, judgment. Koton, Yoko Sepeiku, steel style, liquid steel spikes. Jintun, Kage Sudaraiki, swift style, shadowless strike. Shinra Tensei, divine judgment. Suna no Yo Sanhad. Intin, Kagetsuchi, blaze style, god of fire chapter 6. Kanagakure no Sato, Hokage tower. Naruto was walking up the stairs towards the Hokage's office after the Umbu called him. The secretary wasn't at her desk, and the entire tower was empty except for 3 signatures that he sensed. He knocked at the door to the Kage's office and waited for a response. "Come in," he heard, and opened his door. He walked in to see the old man and Yugao with her mask on talking to him. He could sense one other person in the room and knew it wasn't one of Sarutobi's men. Naruto, come in. We need to talk." The leader spoke to the teen. Naruto nodded and closed the door. "Hokage-sama, where is everyone else?" he asked. "I sent them away. This is just between us three," the leader told him. "You mean me, you, and Yugao-chan, right?" Naruto asked again. The two present were confused. "Yes, Naruto, why?" the Kage asked. Naruto looked at the corner where he felt the presence and had his Byakugan on. All he needed to see was then a mask on the person. He disappeared from everyone's sight and reappeared beside him and knocked the root agent out. When the other two people saw the hidden person, they were shocked. They couldn't sense him, but Naruto just walked in and found him. Naruto removed the mask and found a man around 20 years old with black eyes and black hair with a face that you can easily forget, making him a good spy that can disappear at a moment's notice. He opened the man's mouth and looked on his tongue and found a seal on it. He pushed chakra to his wrist and unsealed a brush and started to write a counter seal on top of it. He took a few seconds to destroy the seal. The Sandaime was watching Naruto work. He was amazed by the skill he had with Fuinjutsu. It showed that he was a master in the art. Then he heard Naruto speak. He could be interrogated now, Hokage-sama. He had a Kirusuichi Fujin. It would activate when the person spoke a keyword and then it will kill someone, and there was another part of the seal that liquefies the brain so that a Yamanaka can't read the mind after. The teen said. The Kage was shocked at Naruto's knowledge, but Yugao knew of it. That didn't mean that she wasn't shocked. The teen wrote a note on a scroll and put it onto the root. Then he made a few hand signs and placed his hand on the person laying on the ground, making seals appear on the ground, and then a puff of smoke. When the smoke cleared, the person laying on the ground was gone. "Naruto, where's the agent?" Sarutobi asked. "I sent him to the Umbu Interrogation Division. I've placed seals all over Konoha, so I can send something or someone just by using a variation of the Gyaku, Kuchiyos no Jutsu. I must focus on the seal location and do the hand signs, and I can transport the item there," the child said. "That doesn't explain how you got seals inside the Umbu building," the Kage said with a deadpan voice. Naruto looked towards the Nico masked woman who looked down nervously. "I asked Yugao-chan to place a few seals down inside the places I couldn't get to, and I had my clones place the rest," he said while mouthing sorry to Yugao. She and Naruto prepared to get into trouble with the leader, who just shook his head. "You and your father are the same." He made the Umbu captain place his Horatian seals inside the Umbu building as well. He said, chuckling. Something in Naruto clicked. "That's why I sense a Horatian marker in the Umbu building," he said. The Kage was confused. "How do you sense the Horatian markers?" he asked. Naruto just lifted his arm up, showing a seal on his wrist, and unsealed a tri-pronged kunai. He handed it to the leader and walked away, but then the other two people saw a red-orange flash, and Sarutobi felt the kunai being removed from his hand and metal against his throat. Sarutobi was shocked by that. Naruto just used his father's special technique. "Hey, Chow," he asked, shocked. Naruto took his blade away and jumped off the table. "I asked Kakashi to explain the technique to me. After that, Jiraiya-sensei explained what my father wanted the technique to do. I made the seal work like the Kuchiyos no Jutsu, and then my clones worked to fine-tuning the seal to work how I want it to. I wanted to ask you if I could see one of my father's Horatian kunai to compare with mine. I've still got problems with my one," he said. "Like?" the leader asked. "If I use it too much, I may lose a body part, and each time I use it, the strain on my body is massive. When I use it, I feel my body being pulled apart by the speed of the technique. Also, using it too much causes me to become disorientated, and it drains a lot of chakra until I master it," the teen said. Sarutobi got up and walked to the picture of the Yondaime Hokage on the wall. He moved the picture to the side to show a seal on a safe. He pushed chakra to the seal and opened the safe, then pulled out some scrolls. He handed one to Naruto with the kanji yellow on. The teen looked at the leader with confusion. "Your father's notes on the Horatian Jutsu, and also an example of the seal, is in that scroll. He asked me to give it to you when I thought you were ready," he told the teen. He opened the scroll and saw a seal similar to his, but had multiple unknown seals. He figured that the unknown seals were what his dad used to stabilize the speed he used in the technique. It also could be used with another idea of his. These other scrolls are for his estate, and also a letter from him for you. The Sandame said, all of your mother's possessions are at their house as well. Thanks, G-san. This can help me with a few of my projects if I can decipher it. Also, I need you to call Drea-sensei back to Konoha. I need the key seal for the hack Fuin. The teens said to the leader. The Sandame was seriously nervous now. Why do you want to key seal Naruto? He asked seriously. Naruto looked the leader in the eyes. Me and Kurama-chan have really become good friends, and I want to let her out of her cage. Plus, I can control more of her chakra that way, and we can sync our power together. That's how Bijou and their containers are supposed to fight, he said. He didn't mention that he hated to see Kurama in a collar, since he changed his mindscape. The Sandame Hokage was thinking about what the child just told him, and after a while he finally decided. All right, Naruto, I will trust you with this. I'll send a message with his next report for him to return, the leader told the child. Inside his mindscape, Kurama was blushing like mad, thinking that Naruto was doing it because he liked her, which wasn't wrong. But his intentions was to see her free of any restraint. Thank you, Naruto-kun, he heard Kurama say in his head. Anything for you, Kurama-chan, he said back. Thank you, Hokage-sama. Now, why did you call for me? He asked, remembering why he was in the Kage Tower. Oh, yes, I want to tell you that I'm going to have your powers tested by your senseis today in about 2 hours. I want you to be at Training Ground 7 by then. Also be warned that the Shinobi Council will be there, the leader said to him. Naruto nodded his head and then spoke. Will you be joining in the action, G-san? The Kage nodded his head. Yes, Naruto-kun. Your senseis will look at your separate skills, and then after that me, and you will combine all of them in an all-out battle. Okay, you're dismissed now. Don't be late, he said to the teen. Hi, Hokage-sama, Naruto said, and left the office to the Kage and Umbu. Once Naruto left, Yugao looked to the leader. Do you think he is ready yet, Hokage-sama? She asked. The Kage had a faraway look on his face. I don't know, Yugao. I really don't know. But this world waits for no one, he said sagely. She nodded her head, sadly knowing that Naruto will be put in severe danger soon. Time skip. 2 hours later, Training Ground 7. Naruto arrived at Training Ground 7 in his battle armor, looking like he's ready for war. He sees all of his senseis there. Kakashi, Tenzo, Yugao, Asuma, Kurenai, Enko, Hana, Hayashi, Gai Shikaku, Tsum, Inoichi, and of course the Sandame Hokage. The only 2 people missing was Itachi and Jiraiya. There was also a Genin team that he knew, and the remainder of the Shinobi Council, Choza, Shibi, and someone that he hasn't met before, but has seen the bingo book from other hidden villages, the clan head of the Kurama clan, Kurama Murakumo, and a dragon-masked Ambu. The first thing he noticed was everyone had this look on their face that showed worry. The second thing is that Kakashi wasn't in his Umbu uniform. Kakashi and I, where's your Umbu clothes? The teen asked him. Oh, I've handed him my mask and am no longer a member of Umbu, he said. Our training mission was my last assignment in Umbu. The teen was shocked. Why, he asked. I decided that when we return, I'm taking a Genin squad with the last Uchiha in it. Kakashi said, emphasizing last since there was more, but he acted as if he was a sole survivor. Naruto was still shocked, but he sort of understood now. Oh, well, good luck with that, Kakashi and I. Hey Lee, Ten-Ten-chan Niji. How's your training going? He asked to Team 9. Team 9 consisted of Higurashi Ten-Ten, a weapon Kanochi who was the daughter of Konoha's best blacksmith. She had a pink kimono-like top on and white skin-tight pants on with blue shinobi sandals. Rock Lee is a boy with a disease that made his chakra pathways and tenketsus to narrow to allow him to use large amounts of chakra, making it very unlikely that he can use ninjutsu, but he was excellent in taijutsu alone. He wears a green bodysuit just like his sensei does. Hyuga Niji is a member of the branch Hyuga clan and has a caged bird seal on his forehead and held a grudge against all of the main family members until Naruto saved his father and changed his attitude to life. He wears a tan short sleeve shirt with the Hyuga clan logo on and black short pants with blue shinobi sandals. Hey, And Naruto-kun, we're good. Nowhere near you yet, but we are improving, Tenten said for her team. Lee had flames in his eyes, and Niji just looked away. Then he heard the Kage clear his throat. Okay, now before we begin our skill evaluation, I'm sure you noticed two people here you don't know. Well, since you were gone, I was able to take enough power back from the council to add the Kurama clan head and the ANBU commander to the Shinobi Council. So let me introduce you to Kurama Murakumo and the ANBU commander Ryu, he said while the two before-mentioned people stood forward. Naruto turned to them and bowed to them formally. It's a pleasure to meet you, Murakumo-sama, Ryu-sama, he said, getting the Kurama clan head to shake his head. There's no need to act so formal, Naruto. It's a pleasure to meet you as well, Murakumo said, bowing lightly. Ryu just bowed lightly as well. Likewise, Naruto. I hope we can work well together, he said, confusing the child. He decided to rephrase, I may ask Hokage-sama if you can attend some ANBU missions if they need help. This got a nod and a smile from the teen. Anytime, Ryu-sama. It will be an honor. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's begin the skills evaluation. First, I want Guy to start with taijutsu and anything else you learned from him, the Hokage said. Yash, let's go, Naruto, and show them our flames of youth. Guy said, getting the flames in Lee's eyes to come out more. It looked like his face was on fire. His teammates rolled their eyes at his behavior. Naruto nodded his head and settled into his starting stance. Guy got into the Goken starting stance and jumped at the teen. Naruto saw him coming and prepared himself. He blocked a punch coming towards his face and threw his own fist towards a green beast who ducked underneath it and tried to do a leg sweep. Naruto jumped over the leg and back flipped away from the Jonin. He dashed towards him and tried to punch him in the chest, but his fist got caught. He freed his fist up and jumped back. Take your seals off, Naruto. We should fight seriously, Guy said while taking his weights off. Naruto nodded and made a hand sign, Jushiru, Kai. Seals glowed on his body and disappeared. They nodded to each other and vanished from everyone's vision except the old Kage who was still following them. After a short battle, both get knocked back and roll on the floor. When they got up, Guy had a few bruises, but Naruto had nothing. Guy just smirked at what the child did to him. He knew that Naruto still had his resistant seals on, which were heavier than his weight seals. Very good, Naruto-kun. Now let's see how far you can go with the gates. Have you practiced opening like I told you? He asked. Naruto nodded. I've gotten to the 7th gate, and I still get tired, but not much, and my muscles get healed by Kurama-chan, he said. Guy nodded and prepared for the backlash. Let's show them our secret training, Naruto-kun. Open all 7 now, he said, and Naruto nodded. Everyone on the sideline looked confused at the child, except for Lee, who knew of Naruto's Celestial Gates training. What does he mean when he said, open all 7 of them? Kakashi asked. Lee answered for Guy. Guy-sensei is talking about the Celestial Chakra Gates that Naruto can open, he said, getting a shocked look from everyone. His team didn't know what he meant, though. What? Naruto can open up 7 Celestial Gates. How? Tenzo asked. The Kage was the one who spoke after getting over his shock. It properly has to do with Kyuubi. She must be able to heal the damage the gates do to his body, he said, figuring it out just from their conversation. Then he thought about something else. How do you know of it, Lee-kun? He asked the Guy clone. Lee looked at his leader and said in a low voice, Guy-sensei taught it to me as well. I can only open up to 4 gates, though, he said again, shocking the shinobi. Hokage-sama, what are the Celestial Gates? Tenten asked, confused. The Kage looked at her and remembered they were a Genin team, not Jonin. The Celestial Chakra Gates are gates inside our chakra networks that limit the amount of power we can use, but if you learn of its position, then you can open them, weakening the limits that your body has. It gives you a massive boost in chakra, speed, and strength for as long as you keep it open, but it's very dangerous. If a shinobi's body is not strong enough to handle it, then you can die from the backlash of opening the gates, and also if you open up the 8th gate, then your heart will be destroyed from the power boost, even if you get power equal of mine. The 2 genin were amazed by the power of the gates, but then they felt a pressure on their bodies. They were about to see the power of the gates firsthand. Naruto closed his eyes and focused on the gate in his brain. Hathemonke, he said. His muscles started to bulge out and gain size. Come on, Kai, he opened the second gate. He felt his strength increase and felt re-energized. He lifted his arms and crossed them in front of his face. Simon Kai, he said. His skin changed color to a red hue, and his chakra became visible to the naked eye, swirling around him. Shomon Kai, he shouted and placed his hand by his side. Everyone could feel the power that he had, and he wasn't even finished yet. Taman Kai, he shouted. The ground around him got spider-cracked from his power. His muscles grew to 2 times their normal size. Kamon Kai, he shouted. The chakra and air around him made a vortex surrounding his body in it. The chakra was compressed around him. He started to open the 7th gate and shouted, Kayaman Kai. The vortex disappeared and was replaced by a blue mist that surrounded him. He was sweating blue sweat, which evaporated from his body heat. He then disappeared and appeared behind his sensei and punched him so far away it reminded the sandame of one of Tsunade's punches. It took a while till Guy returned, but he looked fine. Good, Naruto-kun, you can close them again. Take a break, okay? He asked while Naruto closed the gates. Once he closed the last one, he fell to the floor from the lack of power. Oh, Guy-sensei, he said while switching into a sitting position. Ten was next to him, worrying about him. I'm fine, Ten-chan. I just feel weak from opening the gates, he said, trying to get the young Kanochi to calm. He noticed that Yugao had the same look on her face. So, Naruto-kun, when did you learn how to open the gates? And how did you get so far within already? The sandame asked. He turns to Guy, who nodded to him and turned back and spoke. Well, Guy-sensei started to teach me about the gates about a year before the training trip. It was all theory, though, as my body was not yet prepared for the stress the gates placed on my body. Then I was able to attempt to open the gates about 2 years into my trip, when I placed a chakra barrier around us, so no one can sense the power output of the gates. Guy-sensei said that I should keep this training a secret from the others, as they may worry too much. I was only able to get to the 6th gate during the final year of my trip, when you sent him last, and try to go further by myself. The teen said, surprising the Hokage and the others present minus Lee and Guy. While he rested up, Team 9 started to tell Naruto about some of the missions they went on recently and talking about competing in the Chunin exams this year. After 10 minutes, he stood up and turned to the Kage. I'm ready to continue, Hokage-sama, he said. The Kage nodded and looked towards Kurenai and Anko. Anko, Kurenai, please proceed with your test, the leader said. Anko and Kurenai both nodded while Naruto prepared for another fight. Anko smirked and Kurenai performed a few hand signs. Next thing Naruto knew, his world became dizzy until everyone vanished from his sight. All he did was close his eyes and focused on sensing chakra. There were a lot of signals, but only 2 were active and being used. He honed on those 2 and prepared for defense. He sensed a chakra spike and jumped left just in time to avoid being bitten by snakes. He then released the Jin Jutsu by completely suppressing his chakra and then releasing all of it. Once he could see again, he found Anko next to him using Sanaijishu and Kurenai still in the same place as before. Kurenai began waving more signs, and Naruto found a tree binding him. He knew it was fake for 3 reasons. He felt no Mokuton chakra in the tree. He felt his chakra flux, and Kurenai can't use Mokuton. Kurenai appeared above with a kunai in her hand and was about to strike before she found herself bound in the same place where Naruto was. She realized what he did, and her eyes widened. Megan, Kyuten Shiten. Naruto watched as Kurenai bit her lip to release it and dropped to the floor with her back to Naruto. He felt chakra behind him, and he jumped over a fireball that headed for Kurenai. She didn't notice it, and everyone's eyes widened. The spectators were about to jump before they saw Naruto appear in front of her from a blur, his eyes glowing blue with his hands up towards the fireball. All he did was say the name. Suetun, Sujinhiki. A wall of water appeared out of the air and stopped the fire. Kurenai was glad that he helped her. She hadn't noticed it until it was too late for her to dodge. The teen channeled chakra into his hands and aimed it at the 2 jonin. Blue chakra chains shot out his hand and encircled them, lifting them off the ground. When they tried to substitute out of it, they could not feel their chakra. Now, they were worried. Hey Gaki, why can't I feel my chakra? Anko asked with worry clear in her voice. Naruto just smiled at them. My blue chakra chains can restrain a shinobi and blocks their chakra, so they can't escape, he explained. All present were thinking of the application of it. The Kage thought of its possible weakness. Then he spoke. Can anything break it? Naruto gained a thoughtful look. Only something that can overpower my chakra or absorb it, but it will take a large burst of chakra to break them, he said after a bit. Then something else clicked. Maybe Jinchuriki can, because their Bijuu's chakra can overpower it, but my gold chains work against that. The Kage nodded and then spoke. Okay, Naruto, you can release them now. This test is over. The teen pulled the chakra back and released the two Kanochi from their trap. Kurenai was grateful and congratulated the blonde with a hug, but Anko came from behind him and pushed her breasts into his back. She whispered into his ear, My Naruto-kun, you could have taken advantage of me there. Kurenai blushed at the implication of that, but Naruto just said, It's not right to do that, Anko-chan. I'm not like that, he said, but smirked. If you want it, then okay. The blue chains returned and wrapped around Anko, lifting her into the air once again. She squealed when this happened. Kurenai giggled at her friend, while Anko started blushing heavily. Naruto-kun, let me down, the snake woman shouted, and Naruto laughed, but did as she asked and brought her down. Kurenai couldn't stop herself from laughing, and Anko smacked Naruto's arm lightly while still blushing. The spectators were all laughing at this, but the Kage spoke. Okay, before it happens again, let's start the next exam. Kakashi, prepare yourself, he said, and Kakashi stepped forward. Naruto gained a serious look on his face. All the spectators took a step back, and Kakashi put his book away. Naruto released the chakra seals, please. The others were confused, but Naruto nodded. His body lit up when he said chakra, Fuin. Kai. His chakra flared and wrapped around him in a vortex. When everyone felt his true chakra levels, they were beyond surprised. His chakra reserves were beyond massive. If Hiruzen had to guess, it was as large and as potent as Gobi. It was unbelievable that he had so much chakra. Naruto pulled the chakra back into him and nodded to Kakashi. I'm ready, Kakashi, and I, was all he said. Kakashi nodded and prepared himself. He lifted up his headband and revealed the Sharingan. Naruto was instantly on alert. Then Kakashi began going through hand seals. Katan, Gakkaku no Jutsu. He breathed out a fireball towards the teen, who just stared at it until he spoke. Suetun, Tepidama. He shot two balls of water out of his mouth. One hit the oncoming fireball and canceled it out, while the other ball of water went straight for the Kapinin. When he saw it coming, he jumped into the air, while both of them went through hand signs. Suetun, Suruden, they both shouted with different effects. Kakashi pulled water from the river near him, while Naruto pulled water out of the air. Once the dragons hit, they dispersed while they both went through more seals, different ones this time. Kakashi finished first. Raidun, Reijutsuga no Jutsu. Kakashi held his hand out, and a lightning wolf shot out and ran at Naruto, who was waiting, and used his attack. Futon, Kaze no Taiho. The teen then held his hand out where wind chakra gathered before he shot it at the wolf, causing it to disperse. Naruto decided to start attacking and went through one-handed seals with his left hand while his right was aimed at Kakashi. Raidun, Byakai. A pale white lightning bolt shot at Kakashi at the speed of light, and if it wasn't for the Sharingan and a quick Kawarimi, he would have a hole straight through his chest. Kakashi, as well as all of the shinobi present, bowed their head to make a